Ringside Side Eyes with Jimmy Vibes.
You just want to talk wrestling bullshit. We've said it. No, you're in the river, bitch. What is good? What's the tea? What's going on, guys? Talk to me. Hold on. You guys might hear a little muffling nonsense. I should have did this before I hit record, but bear with me. Alright, guys. I'm sorry, but y'all know how this show gets a little ratchet sometimes. I gotta get my shit together. But anyways, okay. Welcome. Hello, my friends. I've missed you guys. I know it's been a week. Last week, I gave you guys like a 2-hour episode. I had all kinds of guests. Brought Josh back from the dead. Like, really? And Sam. Super fun. So I want to thank them for jumping on the show with me and just tackling that mess of WWE and the wrestling world as a whole. And, you know, we put that shit together. And today we're back for another week of craziness, of mess. But, baby, before we get into all of that, I just want to give a shout out to everybody who continues to support the show. And I love you guys' interaction. I love when you guys get excited on YouTube and you guys leave me messages about how you guys are excited that a new episode's dropped. Like, stuff like that gasses me up and it makes me really excited to find time to come and sit down and talk to you guys for 2 hours on a freaking Thursday. You know what I mean? So it's the best. But I really appreciate you guys. So please continue the support. Please head on over to iTunes and do that job. Okay? And you guys know what job I'm talking about. I need you guys to go over onto iTunes, rate me 5 stars, baby, and leave me a review. Stop being so lazy. I gotta call you guys out. Y'all being lazy. And then there are my elite crew that goes over there. The elites from the listening crew. You guys head on over there and you guys show me all kinds of love. And I really appreciate you guys. So, stuff like that matters. And I wish more of you guys would do it. That's it. But, you know, you can't get everything in life. But what I will do is every week on this damn podcast, until I'm satisfied, I will keep asking you guys to head on over and give me a review. Write something nice. You guys give me 2 hours of your day. Why can't you just give me that second? You texting your girlfriends, your boyfriends, your BFFs, your cousins, your sister, your mother. Why can't you guys go over there and text me something cute on not Instagram, girl, bye. On fucking iTunes. And that listener that loves when I confuse things. Shout out to you. Yeah, I do get all flustered. There's just so many things. I have notes looking at me. I have a recorder going on. Last week I had other people on the show with me. And then there's so many names of wrestlers. So, you know, it's just a lot for my brain to process. And I'm a little slow at things. So, you know, I'll mix things up. But without further ado, we're going to get into wrestling. We're going to start talking about the mess that's going on in wrestling this week. And, you know, I thought for a minute, I was like, you know, I'm going to get on here, I'm going to talk about wrestling and blah, blah, blah. The Mae Young Classic, the final was this week. But then I was like, I don't want to do it alone. I don't want to do it alone. I want to do it with a friend. I want to have somebody on with me. So y'all know what I did. So I dug in my bag and I pulled out one of my old friends who, some of you guys might know, he's very active on Twitter. Blake, I know some of you guys know. He's a listener, longtime listener. He was a part of the old podcast I did. And I'm so excited to have him come on with me. So without further ado, let me bring him in here and let's get to talking. Because I have a bone to pick with Blake. And I'm pretty sure you guys are going to figure out that point when we get to it. Okay? So let's bring in Blake. Let's bring this bitch in here. Let's get it going. Anytime now, sweetheart. Oh, here he comes.
Hello?
Hey, Blake, what's up?
What's up? How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
What are you up to?
Nothing. I just got back from this t-shirt shop. Long story short, I'm going to a wrestling event this Saturday, and I'm gonna be, for the first time, I'm gonna be seeing Barbie Hayden wrestle for the very first time, and I get to meet her, and I'm super excited.
Ooh.
Yeah, so, and I've been, like, talking to her all day about, like, I asked her what shirt size she wears, because I went and got her a gift, and I'm going to make her a little poster, and me and my friend are going to go. It's going to be lit.
Now, what promotion is this?
VIP Wrestling.
Oh, okay. Interesting. That's fun. Who else is on the card?
It's, okay, so, here, I actually have it right here. So, it's going to be, it's going to be LAX presents Low-Key and Homicide versus PNK, which is Keith Lee and Shane Taylor.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's going to be, like, the main event, I think. The girls' match is going to be Rachel Ellering, the girl who competed in the Mae Young Classic, versus Raquel Vaughn and versus Barbie Hayden, so a triple threat.
I'm not familiar with Raquel Vaughn.
Neither am I. This is my first VIP wrestling show that I'm going to, so I'm anxious to see the card, and there's also going to be Mr. No Flaw, Jerome Daniels versus Dirty Andy Dalton. So I'm anxious to see some of the people that are going to be in it, and plus, like I said, I get to see Barbie Hayden wrestle, and that's like one of my indie darlings. So
yeah, and you get to see some fresh faces, some new wrestlers that are scratching the surface. So that's pretty dope.
Exactly.
You get a first glimpse, so that's exciting. Where is this at?
So I live in Dallas, so it's in another city called Arlington. It's going to be over there. It's like 20 minutes, 30 minutes from my house, so it's going to be like in a little place, like, how indie shows be, so it's not going to be like no immaculate arena. Yeah. But yeah, it's going to be just like a little place, and we already got tickets, and she was like super dope. Like, she was like telling me, she was like, I asked her, I said, well, I want to meet you, like, how, like, I'll do whatever it takes to meet you, like, do I have to buy a certain ticket or whatnot? And all she told me, she was like, I make time for any of the people that want to meet me. You don't have to get no ticket to meet me and all this type of stuff. And she even told me, like, I'm excited to see you and everything. So I'm like, Barbie, we finna go off. We feel like, I just feel like that connection with her. And so I'm ready to meet her. I'm ready to see her wrestle for the first time live, because I've been here for Barbie Hayden since like 2015. So
I know you've been a champion of hers. I every time I hear about her, it's usually from you, so I can contest
and
that.
I always just try to, and that's another thing. She had a match at the Mae Young Classic, and I was so happy, and they didn't show it.
Now, wasn't she an alternative, like backup?
I think so. I think it was like her, Lady Tapa, some of the other girls that were alternates, but those alternates got to compete in a match of their own, and they taped it and filmed it. And I thought, I was like, okay, maybe that's going to be one of the matches they're going to show on the finals, which that didn't happen. But she didn't get her match aired, so I was like really upset about it, because I really wanted her to get that mainstream audience, if you get what I mean. Yeah. I really wanted her to get that exposure.
If it makes you feel any better, she's WWE bound now, and WWE has eyes on her. You know what I mean? Because they did invite her. They appreciate her talent for having her come in. And I feel like she was just as a part as the Mae Young Classic as the other woman. It's just that her match wasn't televised. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's all good. I'm just glad that she was given the opportunity. And I told her this several times. I was like, this was before the Mae Young Classic had started. I said, whether your match gets aired or not, know that people are going to recognize your talent one day, and you're going to be noticed one day, regardless of the path you take. Exactly. So I'm excited for her. I see big things happening for her within the next year, whether it be WWE or whether it be really breaking out into the indie scene. Like, she's already kind of a big name, but like, I feel like in the next year she's going to be even bigger name or land in WWE.
Yeah. And one thing I like about her is that she's reinvented herself. She has a really good look now, and I really like the look that she's portraying now. So, and it really sets her apart. Like, I'm so glad that she's no longer blonde and she's to the gray hair. I'm here for it. So
yeah, she looks amazing.
She'll do well.
And I'm not here for those people saying that she copied Layla's look. Get the fuck out of here.
Layla?
Yeah, because Barbie got a new gear style, and the top looks exactly like the top that Layla had.
Anyways, let's not even address that, because there's only so many ways you can wear a top in wrestling. That is so ridiculous. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. That is so ridiculous. But Blake, I'm so glad that you're on. I've been wanting to get you on for a while now, and now that I finally got your ass on this show, we get to have that one-on-one, and we're going to talk about what's been going on in wrestling. You know I come on this show every week to clean up the mess, but this week, I need some help, just like I needed some help last week, so I'm glad that you're joining me this week. So,
no problem.
Let's just jump right into it, all right? Let's get into the thick of things. Let's start off with Monday Night Raw, which is what I usually start off with. I go by what comes on first during the week. So we have Monday Night Raw. And I thought Raw was okay. It was decent. All right, it was fine. It wasn't anything like spectacular to me. Nothing really stood out for me, but it was good. Like I like the Cena and Roman stuff in the beginning. That was cool. But let's get to what you guys clicked on to come listen to, the listeners. Let's talk about the women of wrestling. So we finally get a promo of Asuka, and Asuka it's a vignette of Asuka, and she's coming to Monday Night Raw. So it's been confirmed that Asuka will land in the land of Monday Night Raw. Now, I'm a bit scared. I'm a bit hesitant because of the history of women coming, not only women, of the superstars from NXT transitioning onto the main roster. They haven't been successful, and I blame it on Vince. I don't blame it on the talent. I blame it on Vince McMahon. At some point, I don't blame it. I don't blame the talent, and then it gets to a point where I start looking at the talent with a side eye, like, what are you doing to help yourself in this situation? But I'm gonna go in it positive, and I'm gonna say I'm excited that Asuka's coming to Monday Night Raw. How do you feel?
It's exactly what I wanted.
Yes.
You know how I feel about Asuka.
Mm-hmm.
So just to, like, make a long story in a short version, I'm gonna relate this to Baron Corbin. I was not a fan of Baron Corbin when he was in NXT. Once he came up to the main roster, and then once he had this last year run on SmackDown Live, he's one of my favorites in WWE. I love Baron Corbin. And I just think he's a good wrestler. He has a good character, and he's improving on the mic. The guy is a talent. That's how I'm going to feel with Asuka. I wasn't really here for Asuka in NXT, but I feel like, you know what? I'm going to start fresh. I'm going to start fresh with Asuka. And, you know, I feel like, honestly, I understand where you're coming from on the whole being hesitant, being a little nervous about, you know, what's going to happen with Asuka on Raw. Honestly, I'm not worried at all. And here's why. Just because her book is insane. Like, whether you like Asuka or whether you don't like Asuka, Asuka is just, she's out of this world crazy talented, and she is a force to be reckoned with in the division in general. Mm-hmm. So I feel like whether she would have ended up on Raw or SmackDown, she's going to shake things up regardless. I don't feel like Vince is going to waste her away. This girl's way too talented. Way too big of a star to do that to, especially with them acknowledging her championship reign in NXT, how much attention that reign got, not only from NXT, but you saw WWE tweet out on the weekly basis, oh, Asuka breaks another record, Asuka breaks another record. So I'm not worried about her. I'm excited for her to come to Raw. I'm excited for her to feud with girls like Alexa and Sasha and Bayley and Nia. I'm ready to see what's going to happen. You know, I don't know if she's going to go for the championship first. I don't know if she's going to, you know, have some opponents first. I'd prefer maybe a few opponents on pay-per-views and then transitioning into a title picture.
I agree with that. I agree. Like, she has to have a couple of matches. But my thing with why I'm nervous, why I bring that up, is because it's been reported from Dave Metzler, who he does I forget what his blog is called. But it's been yes, thank you. It's been reported that Vince McMahon wanted Asuka to drop the NXT Women's Championship and come up to Monday Night, the main roster, defeated in NXT. So Triple H fought really hard to make sure that Asuka vacates the championship and moves up undefeated, because he's put in so much work with Asuka. And with Vince saying that, because all us fans that watched it, well, I know, like, you wanted her to drop the belt at some point too, but like me, in my perspective, I'm more on the Triple H side, which is she went this long, she should move up to the main roster undefeated. So with Vince saying that she should drop the title, just shows me that he didn't really pay attention to Asuka. He doesn't know what Asuka holds. He doesn't know how to move her. Like, if he can't book a baby face underdog like Bayley, I'm kind of worried about how he's gonna do a dominant assassin, cocky character like Asuka. I'm a little worried. I'm hesitant, but
like I said, I see where you're coming from, that, and it's 100% totally, like, I get you, like, that you have every right way to feel that way, because we know how Vince has been in the past especially with the women. But my whole thing with Asuka is, I know people even said, remember when the horsewoman came up, they're like, oh, they're too talented for Vince not to give a fuck. And I'm like,
yeah, that was what I said.
Yeah, and I was like, well, let's see. And he did good. He's been doing his thing. Asuka is a totally different entity. That's not shade toward the Horsewoman, but I'm just saying Asuka's on another level.
Oh, absolutely. But the thing with Vince is Vince didn't do that. It was the Women's Revolution that did it. And then when Charlotte and them came up, and it just, because I was like, fans are going to rebel if they come up and put Charlotte in a 2-minute match. That's why I was saying there's no way they're going to treat Charlotte like that from what we've seen her, Sasha, Becky, and Bayley do in NXT. I was like, fans are going to rebel. And then the Women's Revolution kicked off, and I was like, oh, shit. And I was like, oh, my God. And it's crazy because on the old podcast, that's our highest rated show, was us predicting the Women's Revolution about the whole Charlotte thing, and then AJ Lee dropped her pipe bomb. It was just a mess. But, you know, at the end of the day, I'm excited that Asuka's moving up to the main roster, and I have confidence in her. I have confidence that she's going to come, and she's going to turn heads, and she's going to dominate the division. I just hope that Vince doesn't play favoritism and goes with Alexa Bliss.
I have a little something I read a couple days ago about Asuka. So apparently did you hear about the reason why they stuck her on Raw?
Because there's no depth in the women's division, and they're planning on a whole overall with the division, because that's why we're getting the Emma push, because they want Emma to be somebody credible to go up against Asuka, and they're hurrying up the Nia and Alexa Bliss feud. And we have Paige, who's on the outskirts but is on her way back. Paige is indefinitely coming back, so I feel like there's a whole overhaul going on with the division right now. And compared to SmackDown, they have such a strong women's division right now, and they need that on Monday Night Raw. That's what I've been gathering from what's been going on with this. What about you?
Exactly. That's what I was going to touch upon.
Okay.
That's what I was going to say was, look at SmackDown. You've got Charlotte and Becky. You can pull the trigger on those two girls at any time for a push. You've got Lana, who's been, quote-unquote, kind of built up. You've got Tamina, starting to get built up by Lana. You've got Naomi, who's established, who's been built up. Natty, the new champion, who's being built up. And you have Carmella, who's currently being built up. So I'm like, there's so much there's so many women on SmackDown being built up for an ultimate prize of some sort, whether that be a push or a title run or whatever that may be. But on Raw, it's kind of stuck around the same girls for a while. Maybe that's because of injury or whether that's because of what Vince wants. But, you know, it's kind of just the focal girls right now. It's my girl Alexa, Sasha, Nia, and, well, it was at the time, it was Bayley. So I feel like Asuka's needed on Raw because they need Asuka to not only help elevate the division, but to help bring in side feuds back to Raw, because side feuds don't exist on
Exactly,
Raw.
Blake. And that's why I hate to cut you off, but remember...
No, go ahead.
Remember when the women on SmackDown... I think you gave me shit for this, because the women on SmackDown were... Yeah, you did. Because women on SmackDown were constantly built together. They were always together in feuds, and I was telling you guys there's a payoff, there's a reason why they're doing this, because they want to build up all these women at once, and then have them all break up into different feuds. That's why SmackDown is such a women's division is such a stronger brand, is because they built all the women up together in storylines together. Raw didn't
100%.
do that. Raw didn't do that. They separated the women and they picked couple of girls to keep it going, and then they would rotate to the other two girls. So that's what happens. And then like fans gave SmackDown some shit for that, but I was like, yo, you guys are not looking at the bigger picture. But now they're starting to see, because Raw is really like in the deep end right now, but they're starting to resurrect. I see the shift because on Monday Night Raw
too.
On Monday Night Raw, we had a match between Emma and Sasha Banks, which Emma unfortunately ended up tapping out to Sasha Banks. To me, personally, I feel like this was a lackluster match. It was a missed opportunity for Emma, and that's because I feel like Emma should have cheated to win. Not go over Sasha Banks clean, cheated something, throw her out of the ring, win by disqualification, something. I feel like Emma should have took that W going into this Fatal 4-Way. Sasha does not need another win. It doesn't make any sense for me for Sasha Banks getting another win. We already know she's established as a superstar, not as a champion, where WWE also shoots themselves in the foot because they haven't booked Sasha as a proper champion. So you kind of lose faith in Sasha. But moving on from that match, we had to the side of that match, because we still got to talk about this. We had Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax on commentary, which I thought was pretty cool. It was cute. Like they had a little back and forth stuff like that. But overall, I feel like this was all a missed opportunity. Like we could have got more out of this whole segment. How do you feel about it?
Okay, so I 100% agree that this was a missed opportunity for Emma. However, I see what they're doing. Think about it. 2 weeks ago, Nia turned on Alexa. Okay. So that was her getting momentum into the pay-per-view. Last week, it was Emma picking up a win over Sasha. That was her momentum. Sasha getting a win on Monday was her momentum. So I see Alexa getting a momentum of some sort next week. But I do agree. I wouldn't have done a match. I think what was needed was maybe a talking segment, maybe a promo of some sorts, just because we haven't really seen any of these girls kind of get involved on the mic together. Alexa and Sasha, yes. Alexa and Nia, yes. But Emma, I feel like they needed some type of promo to where they all kind of get together.
Well, we have been seeing Emma talking backstage. Like, to me, it's not about the I feel like they've done enough talking. Like, we had Sasha backstage, and then later in the show, we had Nia and Alexa talking backstage. So I feel like they are giving the women opportunity to speak. But the thing is, Emma's being built as the clear, like, she's not going to win this at all. So now I'm thinking, are they going to pull a surprise and put the belt on Emma because Vince is on that kick of switching titles right now? Is he going to go with her? Or is he... You don't know. You don't know. But all I'm saying is, like, what's the deal? What's going on over here? Because I feel like Emma should have walked away with that W after winning last week, because it's going to build up on her cocky ass confidence, and she would get on Twitter and all that good stuff. But I just felt like it was lackluster. The match overall was just okay. You hit a couple spots here, a couple spots. It was quick, and then a pinfall. Maybe what they should have did was maybe have Nia Jax come out later and lay them both out, and then it ends in a double DQ. You know what I mean, or something like. Yeah. Like a match is fine. Like the women could have went out, had a great match. Alexa could have stayed on commentary and where she's strong and talk. And Emma and Sasha Banks are really strong in the ring, working together. And then you have Nia Jax come out and dominate both of them and make her look strong going into her match with Alexa Bliss for next week. That's how I feel like it should have been booked.
The thing that I'm seeing, because Emma, being in this match in general, this is what the ultimate payoff has been. These fans on Twitter, oh my God, they get on my nerves. But, because, before Emma got put in this match, there was the question, why does Emma keep losing? Why does Emma keep getting this? What's the payoff? And I'm like, I kept telling people, and I'm like, it's going to pay off. She's getting some type of reward for taking all these L's in the ring, or for finally getting the win over Mickey. I'm like, there's going to be a payoff for Emma, and this is the quote-unquote payoff, this title match. I don't think Emma's going to win the title match. I feel like she's just in this match to take the pin, just because they want to protect the other girls. But Emma, you know what I feel like they're doing? And I feel like it's perfect, because if Asuka's going to come in and do opponents on pay-per-views and then transition into the title feud, I feel like Emma is the perfect person, the perfect first person for Asuka to feud with. I feel like that's what they're building her up for. They don't want to build her up too much to be champion or nothing, but they want to build her up enough to where she stands as a legitimate competitor for Asuka to take out at Asuka's first pay-per-view.
I feel like that is possible. I feel like that is a logical person. Makes sense. Emma, because they have had a great match together at an NXT Takeover. So it's possible that they want to reunite that. Like Triple H knows that Emma works really good with Asuka, so who better than for Asuka to debut on the main roster with Emma? I think Emma's a good choice for her. But I guess we're just going to have to wait and see. But speaking of Nia Jax gets her title shot next week against Alexa Bliss.
It's not a title match.
Oh, it's not. Why do I keep thinking it's a title match? It's just a straight up match. And
right.
I think we might get that run in from Sasha Banks and Emma next week. But if we don't, whatever, like it is what it is. If or we may get Nia really dominate on Alexa Bliss and make us really worried if Alexa's gonna lose this belt, and then Alexa sneaks a sneaky win next week. So how do you feel? What are your predictions for next week?
I definitely see some type of interference of some sorts, because they're not gonna have, especially if they're considering about doing Alexa and Nia post No Mercy, they're definitely not going to have Alexa just straight up pin Nia Jax, and they're not going to have Nia straight up pin Alexa Bliss. So I see an Emma run in, and then maybe Sasha to come out and even up the odds of some sort. So, but I definitely see interference. The match will not end. I hope it doesn't end clean, because that would be ridiculous. But I see an interference of some sort.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Nia, I want to give a shout out to Nia. Nia walked Fashion Week. Last week, she was all over New York, slaying the runways, looking good. So shout out to you, Nia. You're a beautiful, beautiful woman. You looked amazing, and I'm so glad that WWE highlighted that and showed like this body positivity with all these women with different shapes and stuff. And it just shows them that bringing in women like Nia can help target another demographic of women, the curvy women, the average women. So I think it's awesome.
Did you notice on Raw whether Nia is in a match or whether she's commentary or whether she's just doing a promo, she's always in her gear. Last night was the very first time she's ever been in street clothes.
Because they saw her in street clothes.
That's what I'm saying. They're giving that recognition to her.
Yeah.
Like she finally came out in some street clothes. So I was like, good for her.
Yeah, so they were like, you know what? We're going to go with Nia. So I'm glad. And they're really high on Nia. Like, she's really liked backstage. And the girl's pretty solid. Like, she's believable. To knock a bitch out, it's super believable. And Nia's just doing a good job. And I'm a big fan of Nia. So I love that she's doing well on the main roster on Monday Night Raw. But I would prefer she moves on over to SmackDown. And that's just me being biased in my personal opinion. I just feel like she would thrive on SmackDown. But other than that, I'm excited with what they're doing with Nia, and she's being taken care of. So it's awesome. Yeah. But let's move on to something that wasn't aired on Monday Night Raw. Nikki Bella came out during a commercial break, I believe. She came out with her Dancing with the Stars partner. And she got a little bit of boos from the crowd. Like, they started booing her when she started doing the little dance move and stuff like that. But then right when she heard them boo her, she picked up her dance partner and body slammed them. And then she got some chairs off of that. So I'm like, you bias ass closeted Bella fans. Like, I can't fucking stand you guys. You guys are so fucking corny. But like, they hate on this girl. They trash this girl so much. But she's the most successful female outside of WWE, doing things outside of WWE. Nikki Bella is super successful, and for people to bash her and then cheer her on the low, it's like it's so weird to me. And I know you're a big fan of hers, and she's gonna be doing Dancing with the Stars this coming season. How excited are you? Are you gonna be voting? Are you gonna be watching her? And how do you feel about the fans booing her quickly and then changing their minds after?
Well, you know how I feel about Nikki Bella, and I just want to take a trip down memory lane real quick.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was on, for the people that don't know that are listening to this right now, for those of you who don't know, I was on this show in 2014, and I had told James, Nick, and Gigi, I said, watch out. I said, this girl's going to be the biggest girl in the following year, and look what happened. But I should have thrown that in there.
No, you were right, and I told you, I was like, no, you were right. Like, but the thing, you know why she became the biggest woman? Because AJ Lee abandoned her fans. She left. She abandoned me I was a fan of AJ Lee. She abandoned me, and she grabbed her shit and she left. Nikki Bella saw the opportunity and she fucking took it and she milked it and she turned it into this empire now. So shout out to her. I give her fucking props. I give it to her. And remember whole time, Blake, what did I bitch to you about? Like, she don't have products out. She needs to do this. She needs to do that. And now, look, she's doing everything I said that she needed to do. She's doing it. And she's creating a whole brand. So I'm super proud of, like, I always stood by Nikki Bella. Even though I wasn't, like, her biggest fan at the time. But I always told you, I like Nikki Bella. But now I'm more of a big supporter of hers. And I defend her because I feel like fans give her unnecessary bullshit, and this girl works her ass off, and then to sit here and just bash a woman who goes out there and knows how to perform and entertain a crowd, and she's well-rounded, she's a fucking television producer. She produces 2 television shows. She has a clothing line. She has a wine brand. It's just like, come on. She's doing the damn thing, and now she's doing Dancing with the Stars, and then they all want to put this on. Oh, she sucked the right dick. Are you kidding me? Really? Like, it's nonsense.
I mean, you know, Jay, I've been hearing this from the get-go.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's been different things over the years. You know, for a few years, it was she's here in this position because of John Cena. And that's still the running tale of
That's
the day.
so tired. I'm tired of that.
And I'm like, that just gives me, I'm like, oh, dang. I'm like, way back in 2013? Yikes. But in a nutshell, Nikki Bella is going to be successful with or without your booze. Nikki Bella will be making money with or without your booze. Nikki Bella will return to WWE with her sister, with or without your booze. So if anything, reaction is reaction, and that's what matters to Vince McMahon. Hence the reason why Roman Reigns is in the position he's in. So reaction is reaction.
Like,
and if
I don't mind
negative with her. It is what it is. Like, I don't care.
Oh,
like,
yeah, I don't care.
People come up with these stupid excuses as to why she's getting all these opportunities.
Exactly. That's what bothers me.
Inside and outside of the ring. And I'm like, you know what? Do Dancing with the Stars. Produce 2 television shows. Do all these things. Not only is she building it, people think like, oh, she's getting all these opportunities being in WWE. And I'm like, what she's doing, not only for herself.
It's for other women.
Yeah, she's building up this empire, so she has a life after WWE. This girl's only going to be here for maybe another year. But she's on her way out.
It's not only for the Nikki Bella and Brie Bella brand. What they're doing is showing Vince that it's possible for women in WWE to make a lot of fucking money. They're showing it. They're proving it to Vince McMahon. And fans have their hater blockers on so tight that they just... You know how they use... Like Gigi, for instance. Gigi will hate on Nikki Bella all day. But she won't give you a legit reason on why she hates on her. It's just like, you guys just hate the girl to hate her. And you guys don't take a second. Like me, I'm not biased at all. When I love all the girls. I even love Rosa Mendez. But she's just not a fucking wrestler. Period. And that's just one girl I've always been hard on because it was just a mess. But it's like, we gotta support our girls. We gotta support them. They're all our girls. Go on. What were you gonna say?
What I was gonna say is that when you ask somebody, oh, you hate Nikki Bella, right? Or oh, you hate so and so, right? Why? And they're standing there, don't know what to say. Honestly, when people don't like, no, that's not it. No, it is it. You're mad and you're jealous that your favorite is not in her position.
Exactly.
You'd be celebrating over the moon if it was, Alexa or Sasha or Charlotte or Becky Bailey, Nia Jax, Dana, and all those girls can get to that point. That's what the message that the Bellas are trying to send is that, Vince, if you invest in these girls and you let them do what they want to do in that ring, but also outside of WWE, and you let them, and you give them that push towards the spotlight, and you give them that guidance, they can not only bring you money, but they can set up a life for themselves after WWE and bring a more and more mainstream audience to WWE. Get you more fans. Get you more stuff for your product. Sasha can get to that level. Charlotte can get to that level. Alexa can get to that level. All of them can.
All of them.
The sky is the limit for those girls. The sky is the limit if he lets them get to that point.
Yeah. He gotta let the chains go, and the fans gotta stop being so fucking biased. I understand it's wrestling, it's a competitive sport, but at the end of the day, it's an art. It's a play. It's a live action play. They work together. We can't be so hateful. So fucking hateful to the point where sometimes you read these comments, I'm like, this is disgusting. Like, really? Like, what if somebody talked to your sister, your aunt, your mom, your girlfriend like that, and you know that she's busting her ass day in and day out, and then when you go read comments, it's gonna be like all this negative shit. Like, some of you people are just negative and stuck on negative, and they're probably listening to what we're saying right now, Blake, and just rolling their fucking eyes. So we can talk until we're blue in their face. They're still gonna hate on Nikki fucking Bella and Brie Bella. So fucking be it. But what I will say is when the dust is settled, when it's all set and done, they'll be appreciated.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Whenever those opportunities that they're getting right now, Nikki, of course, is getting a lot more of those opportunities more than Brie, but that's just because Brie's a mother. She's settling down. But when those opportunities, when the Bellas are 10 years from now, those opportunities that the Bellas were getting at this point in time, 10 years from now, all these girls are going to get, and that's when you're going to appreciate them, when finally you realize that those are the girls that opened the door for all this shit.
Yeah, they bridged the gate. They were the bridge from the diva era that brought us into the women's wrestling era. As much as you hate them, you can't deny that motherfucking fact, bitch. Speaking of facts, Natty. I miss Natty and her fact gimmick. I loved it. Fact with her husband in Cesaro. So Natty had defended her title in Vegas against Naomi, and Naomi came out with new gear, which you guys know I'm not a fan of Naomi and new gear, but I kind of that, Garrett. I'm not even gonna lie. I liked that one. I was like, oh, this one's cute. I felt like she should have wore that for SummerSlam with the whole Brooklyn vibe. I was like, it kind of gave me the SummerSlam Brooklyn vibe, whatever. But I thought it was cute. I liked it. The women had no entrances, okay? And I saw a big uproar on social media about Naomi not getting an entrance because we all know that Naomi's entrance is lit and Natty's the new champion. We haven't seen many entrances of Natty coming out as champion yet. So fans were all bitching. Me personally, I can give two shits because I was watching the show. I have eyes and I have a brain that also contains common sense, because before the match started, we had a Mae Young Classic hype for the finale that they were running through to let us know what's coming on later that night. And then when we get back from commercial, there was an announcement about the women that are in the crowd. They were showing us Alundra Blaze, Beth Phoenix, Summer Rae, Asuka, all these girls that were all out there. They were showing us all this stuff, and people were getting all upset about that shit. And then you forget that this is a 2-hour show, so why would you want to come back from the match just to give them that 5 minutes over there, to give them 5 minutes for entrances between the both of them, and you guys want to cut away from the match for an entrance? Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me personally. I really don't care if they didn't have entrances. How do you feel about the whole entrance debacle? Are you upset that they didn't have entrances? Do you care? Do you feel like they should have had entrances because it's a title match? Like, what's your tea?
At first, when we came back from commercial and the girls were in the ring, I was a little pissed off. At the end of the day, I care about the match. So if the entrances had to be cut off for them to get more time in the ring, then so be it. Yeah, Naomi has this crazy over-the-top entrance, and I love seeing it every time she's on TV. But if it comes down to her getting the entrance or longer time in the match, even she would choose the match. So
and my thing is, it's 1 week. It's 1 week we missed the entrances. Relax. Oh, and then you see all these, like, here comes my favorite part of the segment, dragging the fucking dumbass wrestling fans. Oh, see, now look, Natty, her 3rd week as champion, shows that she's not proven to be a good champion because they don't have faith in her making an entrance for her championship, so they already cut off her entrances as a champion. What kind of fucking sense does that make? Like, I really want to know. And it was a listener, you listened to the show, and I am calling you out, but I ain't calling you out. You get what I'm saying, sis? I ain't gonna say your name, but that was real stupid. But I'm just gonna say it over here. I just thought that was so dumb that you're really gonna base off entrances how Natty's reign is gonna go. That don't make no damn sense to me. I'm sorry. But
exactly.
Moving on to the match, we had Carmella sitting down on commentary, and she was just slaying her mic work. Like, Carmella and the mic just go together. It's fucking perfect. But as I'm watching, because, they focused the camera, because once again, they had to introduce that Carmella was out there for us, too. So it's taking up time. So I seen Carmella, and then I see a chain link all the way up to fucking James's neck. I'm like, what in the blue hell is going on? Like, they got a dog collar, James. I care. I live. I got my life. I love that she had him in a dog collar after smacking the dog shit out of him last week. And now she has him walking around in a dog collar. Fucking classic. I have yet to see that in wrestling. And I think it's so fucking hilarious that Carmella's literally treating this guy like a bitch. What are your thoughts on James having a fucking dog chain?
I mean, it's hilarious. I think, okay, so when Carmella and James first got together, I hated it.
Mm-hmm.
And it took me a very long time to really get accustomed to
This is interesting, Blake, because me and you were playing video games and we had this conversation. You were telling me how you hated it. So go on. I'm sipping my tea. Mm-hmm. Go on. Tell me more.
It took me a while to really not understand, but to really start to really feel the partnership, really
sink into
it. Yeah, it just took me a lot longer than other people, and everybody knows I love Carmella. She's my favorite girl on SmackDown.
You felt like he wasn't needed. You felt like Carmella can do it on her own.
At the time, but once she won Money in the Bank, and then weeks had passed, and I'm like, now I understand it. Now this is because at first I was just like, oh gosh, I'm like, of course they're gonna stick this whack bitch with my girl over here, and I was like, nobody cares. But then at the end of the day, I was thinking, I'm like, this is benefiting Carmella. the girl, because okay, let's be real here. Carmella was getting the pops, but she wasn't getting the pops that they wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, okay, if you're going to be Miss Money in the Bank, or if we have plans for you as champion, we're going to need to get you more over. And that's what James did. James has helped her get more over, and her character, her demeanor towards James Ellsworth has provided her to get more over.
Exactly.
So, because the way she treats him, it's like, damn, like, and so I'm like, it's what he deserves.
But this is what I told you. This is what I was telling you. I was like, Blake, this gives her an opportunity to showcase her character. She has somebody to berate, somebody to treat like shit constantly. I kept telling her, I was like, this, because everybody at first, like even I will admit, when they first paired them up together, the first time they were put together, I was like, oh, why? She was doing so good with Nikki Bella. Why? But then I was like, you know, I waited like 2 weeks and I saw what they were doing. I saw how she changed his look and everything. Right when she changed how he looks, I was like, okay, I get it. She's gonna fucking manipulate this guy to do what she wants. And I was like, okay, I'm here for it. It's great for Carmella's character. And I remember me and you going back and forth about it. And I was telling you, gotta look at the bigger picture. You gotta look at the bigger picture, where this is gonna end up. Where is it gonna end up? And then it ended up with her being, you know, what you just said, getting a lot of heat because she's with James, Miss Money in the fucking Bank. She always has a fucking segment on SmackDown. Carmella never goes missing on SmackDown since she's debuted in like a while. I can't remember the last SmackDown I seen and I didn't get a glimpse, even if it's for 2 seconds, that I haven't seen Carmella.
But that was my original point, was that I saw what Carmella could do on her own when she was feuding with Nikki Bella. I was like, this is the Carmella I've been wanting to see. This is the Carmella I wanted to see in NXT. But as we know, she was paired up with Enzo. And same thing with Alexa. That's my girl. That's my number one. I've been saying it from day one. I was like, this girl's going to be a star. Same thing with Carmella. And then when those two came to SmackDown, they were given the singles push. They were given, you know, Carmella was with Nikki and then Alexa was with Becky. And I saw how it worked out for Alexa. And I was like, well, the same thing can happen with Carmella. And I'm like, you know, because they both kind of came in. No one kind of really knew who they were. The general audience that watches Raw every week or that watches SmackDown or that are in the crowds don't watch NXT. So they had no idea who these girls were. They probably knew who Carmella was from a glance because they know Enzo and Cass, because everybody at the time knew who Enzo and Cass were. But at the time I was seeing her be so successful with her mic working in the ring with Nikki Bella, I was like, well, she's ready to go on her own. I'm excited to see what's going to be her next feud. You know, who's she going to feud with? And then she got paired with James Ellsworth, and I was like,
well, yeah, wah. Yeah, I get you.
So I was like, she was on such a roll, in my opinion. She was on such a roll, and I'm like, and then she got put with James. I was like, well, why? At the time, I was like, well, why are they doing this? Like, you know, what's the payoff? Like, I thought she was doing so well. Like, I thought she was going to feud with somebody else, or, you know, I was like,
you thought it was like a demotion, like she got like,
and not a demotion, but like kind of like taking, like, when you're supposed to take a step back, she kind of took 3 steps back, and I was like, now you go into like, because at first I was like, are you going to be like a manager now, or is he going to manage you? I was like, what's the deal? But now that I've seeing it through WrestleMania, and then seeing WrestleMania to Money in the Bank, it was not necessarily what she needed, but it was what she needed for her character.
Now,
and
you know what that just reminded me of, because you know how you just said about, is she going to manage, who's managing who? Like, I kind of figured that he's going to manage Carmella, because I don't see him being pushed as a single thing. That's just the picture I got at the time. But what I will say is that him managing Carmella has sparked interest in WWE for having male superstars manage female superstars, because now there's that whole thing with Goldust going around. It got dropped a couple of weeks ago, and then it got brought back up after he had his match this week with Bray Wyatt, when Bray Wyatt wiped the gold off of his face. So they're really thinking about who they want to pair Goldust with, because Goldust wants to transition into a manager role. And a lot of people were talking about, oh, maybe Alicia Fox, maybe Mandy Rose from NXT. Remember, I brought that to you. You were like, I don't really like that idea. But the other one I heard recently was Dana Brooke and Goldust. And I was like, Dana and Goldust would do really well together. And I was like, because Dana can talk, Goldust can talk. He could bring her, and she does that whole fitness competition with the gold statue. Like, they could really revamp Dana Brooke. And if Dana looks great in gold, she has that great black and gold attire that made it into WWE 2K18. And I feel like, yeah, that could work with Dana and Goldust. They really could. But that's just something that you just sparked my fucking mind for it. Got me going. But anyways, we gotta talk about the match, bitch. The match was great between Naomi and fucking Natty. Them two always put on a good match together. I like Naomi's kicks. Naomi's kicks were everything. I love that kick that Naomi put her hand on the mat and then she lifted up the back foot and kicked Natty in the face. I thought that was sick. Naomi's very innovative when it comes to her offense. I fucking live for it. It's super good. Sometimes what I will say, sometimes it seems like a dance kind of aerial because Naomi's so graceful, and sometimes I want it to be more hard hitting. It looks more pretty than aggressive. That's my only thing for Naomi, because Naomi's really, really flashy, and I know it's really good for a baby face to do stuff like that. Like, I get it, but I just wish like Naomi would add some more oomph into it. But Natty was solid as always. I loved it, and I loved how Natty uses her little her mind games and her tricks and how she fucks around with the ring. It really shows that she is a ring general. She slides out of the ring and then she starts getting into it with Carmella to cause that commotion outside of the ring where Naomi jumps off the top rope. Natty knows that. She moves out of the fucking way, and boom, Carmella took the impact. Like, James barely took it. Carmella took all of Naomi, and I love the way that she crashed in between the announce table. It looked really painful for Carmella. But what I will say is I loved how Carmella got up from the chair and got in Natty's face, and she pulled her little dog chain with her. And here comes James right behind that. I was like, yes, Carmella, you better fucking slay with that bitch dog behind you. I loved it. And she forgot to take off her headphones, and she's like, oh, hold up. And she took it off and threw it down and got Natty's face. But, you know, Natty, being the smart, sneaky, crafty heel that she is, she grabs Naomi, throws her into the ring, and puts her in the sharpshooter. And, she ends up winning. So for me, I feel like Naomi was protected in this match, because I know a lot of people are like, oh, now she's going to keep losing, this, that, and the third. You know, the name mob, they're never happy. And I know they get upset when I say that. Even when I say they're never happy, they get upset about it. But they're not happy. Like, but they're like, what, bitch? No, you're unhappy. You guys are always unhappy with how they do Naomi. But I feel like Naomi was protected well. The distractions what cost her the match. And I was so happy that Natty retained. And how did you feel about the whole match as a whole when it comes to the match and the interactions with Carmella and James outside?
The match itself, I love the match. I mean, Natty and Naomi always work very well together. What I will say is that new move that Naomi's doing, that springboard leg drop where Natty's hanging, that's like that's the move she debuted at SummerSlam, and I'm like, I love that move, Naomi. And I'm like, it's a good signature move for you to have, so keep it. So the match was good overall. I love the springboard splash, obviously, on to Carmella and James Ellsworth. And then, of course, you know, Carmella getting up on her seat, you know, because Natty was trying to get in her face. And it was like taunting her with the money in the bank briefcase. And I was like, now that you, like, freaking, like, literally, like, dragging this dog along with you, like, on a leash. And I was like,
love that. It
was just so funny, because I'm like, this girl is literally dragging this guy on a leash.
Yeah.
That blows my mind. I'm like, they're literally having her like literally subject him like this. Like, I'm like, this is so good for her character. And I'm like, this is like, she's like, it's amazing. I'm loving it.
She's a finesse. She's a finesse. Yeah. She does to get her way. And I live for it. I love her character.
And as far as the match finish goes, I feel like Naomi, you know, like people are like, oh, how's she going to get protected? I'm like, well, she's going to tap because Natty doesn't have another finisher. And I was like, well, she was protected because it was by distraction of some sort. You know, she took advantage of the distraction from Carmella and the huge, like, you know, springboard splash onto the two. So I'm like, she took advantage. She made her tap out. It doesn't mean Naomi got buried. It doesn't mean Naomi's going to derail. It just means Naomi's going to transition into something different. Maybe she'll start, you never know. Maybe she could start up something with Tamina, because Tamina's been kind of built up, you know, because she has history with Lana, and Tamina's trying to get to that title picture. So maybe they're going to have her go through Naomi, or because they have history with each other in general. Tamina and Naomi, team bad, hello. So that's all history together. She has history with Lana, she has history with Tamina, so that'd be a good side feud.
That's what she needs. Naomi can take a break from the title picture soon. It's going to happen. And it's okay. Naomi she's been a 2-time women's champion in under a year. She's the longest reigning right now. She has a great, Naomi's made right now. This is the position we wanted Naomi in. 2 times women's champion now. So you guys can't be mad about that shit. Just let WWE tell us a story on what they're going to do with Naomi and have some confidence in your girl. Like, come on. Like, shit. That's all I gotta fucking say about that. But now, let's move on to the meat and fucking potato, because this is the reason why Blake is on the show this week. Now, I had a question from one of the listeners who asked me, how, James, can I get onto the show? And I was like, basically, you have to spark my interest and make me want to talk about something with you. I don't know, ask a good question, do something, I don't know, piss me off. And that's what Blake did this morning. Me and Blake had a conversation about Carmella cashing in her money in the bank.
What's new?
So, you know, me and Blake will always go at it. We'll discuss things. We'll debate. And it might get ugly. It might get ugly, but just realize that at the end of the day, me and Blake are all good. This is just how we talk to each other. So, Blake.
It won't get ugly. I'm not the same little 17-year-old kid you talked to 3 years ago.
Not like that, but, you know, like, we will let each other know what we think. And if I think he's wrong, I will tell him, I think you're wrong, and this is why I think you're wrong. But let me tell you guys what's going on. So, where do I start? Okay, Blake, me and Blake were talking yesterday, and we were just, like, excited for SmackDown and blah, 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 and the Mae Young Classic. You know, it was a stacked card. We had Vince McMahon on the card. We had a title match, the Women's Championship match on SmackDown. We had the Tag Team Championship and the Tag Team Championships, and then we had the Mae Young Classics after. So we're just talking. Blake's like, you know what, James, it's a big hype feel. It's a big match, big night, blah, 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 for wrestling. Got the Mae Young Classic, got Vince McMahon, blah, 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 blah. I think Carmella's cashing in. And I was like, absolutely not. That doesn't make any sense for Carmella to cash in. I just don't feel like it makes any sense. And Blake feels like it does make sense if Carmella cashes in tonight. And Blake, tell us why.
Okay, so here's the thing. So by the time you listen to this, it's already been established that Carmella did not cash in. So my whole point of view behind it was that, okay, Sin City SmackDown, they've been hyping this show up a lot, right? You know, you had a United States title match, AJ Styles, Ty Dillinger. You had Usos New Day in a Sin City street fight. You had Naomi Natty in a women's championship match. You had Vince returning to SmackDown. You had all this hype behind the show. So I was like, okay, SmackDown's going to be a big show tonight. It's going to be really good. It's always good, but it's going to be a really good show tonight. So in my head, I was thinking, Carmella should cash in tonight. And here's why. My whole thing is, you have a big type-filled show, and you keep hyping it like that, and you have certain segments, and you have certain title matches that are going to make this SmackDown memorable. Why not add another thing to make it memorable? And the position that the title match was in, it was before the main event segment, which was Vince and Kevin Owens going at it in that whole debacle. And that's what people are talking about, is like the whole Vince and Kevin Owens thing. And I get that. And what James was trying to explain to me was that, you know, it would have been overshadowed because everyone's
No. Don't say what I was. You say your part. I'll say my part.
Okay.
You just say your part, Blake.
Okay. So I just felt like she should have cashed in. I'm not saying I'm annoyed with Natty being champion. I love Natty. And
no, absolutely not.
Champion.
I understand that. Go on.
But at the end of the day, Carmella is my girl, and I want her to get that title.
Okay.
And it's not me just saying, oh my God, I want her to cash in immediately. Like, no. Like, I'm okay with SmackDown building it up, but I just...
You felt like it was good timing.
Yeah, I felt like it was just a missed opportunity, and that's just the way I felt. I don't know if anybody else feels that way, but that was just the way I felt, and from Twitter and what I was looking at, I was not the only one that thought that way.
No, you weren't.
And so...
That's why I know that you weren't the only one feeling that way, and that's why I invited you on, because I wanted to talk about it.
Yeah, I just feel like it was a missed opportunity, but just because it was a missed opportunity doesn't mean another one won't strike.
Okay.
So this
is my point
of view behind it.
This is my shtick. Okay. All right. Looking at the card, all right, I look at Blake, this is no shade, but I look at things for the bigger picture. That's how I look at it when I look at what I'd want Carmella to do with her Money in the Bank contract. I look at it long term. So Blake comes and tells me, oh, I feel like Carmella should blah, 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 what he just said to you guys. And I'm like, wait a minute. AJ Styles is defending his championship on that match, on that card. Natty's defending hers on that card. The tag team champions are defending their titles on that card. And we have a Vince McMahon comeback in a year. And I was like, that's already a big ass show. I was like, that's a huge show alone. And I was like, so, and then when you go and see what happened to, and I told Blake, I was like, I don't feel like Carmella should cash in tonight. I was like, first of all, it's at Vegas. It's a SmackDown, and you know they are hyping this. But I feel like Vince McMahon's on the card. I'm looking at the card list. I was like, it doesn't make any sense that Carmella would cash in. It's what I predicted. I was like, I don't think she's gonna cash in. It doesn't make any damn sense. And obviously WWE agreed with me. It wouldn't make sense for Carmella to cash in like that, because the whole focal point of this fucking SmackDown, when you look back at it, the whole focal point was, Blake is not the only one that wanted Carmella to cash in. A lot of people on Twitter were talking about it as well. And I was like, this doesn't make any sense, because when you look at it in hindsight, everybody's talking about Vince McMahon, about how Kevin Owens beat the crap out of him and like beat up the owner, the CFO, whatever, the chairman. He's the big boss. We haven't seen Vince on television in so long. And for him to take a big ass, brutal ass beating like that, as narcissistic as Vince McMahon is, you think he'd want us talking about Carmella's Money in the Bank cashing over him getting beat up by Kevin Owens? Absolutely fucking not. And on the other hand, if Carmella was to cash in, she would have been overlooked, because people would have been like, oh, yeah, and Carmella cashed in, and Vince, they'll be like, oh, Vince McMahon got beat up, blah, 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 blah. They beat the crap out of him, this, that, and the third. The Usos lost their championship to New Day, and, and Carmella cashed in her Money in the Bank. Absolutely not. Carmella is the first woman to capture a Money in the Bank contract. So I feel like it would have been a fucking throwaway to have her cash in last night. It just didn't make any sense. I feel like she needs her moment. She needs her own surprise where we don't expect Carmella to come out and cash in her Money in the Bank, but she does it on like a pay-per-view, or I don't know, maybe the Monday Night Raw, the Survivor Series after SmackDown or something, for her to run out and cash in. Not on a random, and that crowd was so fucking weak. And you had the never mind everything I just mentioned, guys. We had the Mae Young Classic the same night in the same arena. So that's why I was like, no, absolutely not. So, Blake, I'm sorry. Like, I felt like you were wanted her to cash in because you would prefer her to be champion over Natty, not thinking of it strategically. That's just the only way I can fathom what.
Well, no. I mean, you're entitled to your wrong opinion, and that's fine. But what I was going to say was the reason me wanting Carmella to cash in had nothing to do with me wanting her as champion. That's just like icing on top of the cake. That's
See, then I don't get your logic. I don't understand your logic of her cashing in, because you're saying that I get you're saying it's a stacked card. I understand that, and you felt like it's a big episode. So you feel like Carmella cashing in would have been the cherry on top for the episode?
No, what I was saying was her, like, because you were saying, oh, you just want her to be champion right now because you'd rather her be champion over Natty. That's not the case.
That's what I'm getting.
But her being champion right now is just the icing on top of the cake for like the reason why. That's just like extra. Like, of course I want her to be champion right now, but the whole reason why I wanted her,
I don't want her to be champion.
Because
see, that's my point. I don't want Carmella to be champion yet. She doesn't need to be champion. I want her to hold that contract, torment whoever's the champion. It's so much fun with Carmella lurking around with her briefcase, and now she has her dog chained to her other arm. Like, it's fucking amazing. And that's why I don't understand the rush. I don't get it. But I'll let you talk. Let me shut up and let you get it in.
It has nothing to do with the rush. My whole reasoning behind it was just the simple fact that I wanted Carmella to cash in because I felt like it was such a hyped up show, and I was like, well, let's add another element to make this show even more memorable, because whether you believe it or not, yes, people are talking about Kevin Owens and Vince McMahon, but people are also talking about the fantastic great match that the Usos and New Day had. That was an amazing match, and people are still talking about it.
Yeah, it was a good match, but what is everybody... Why wouldn't you want Carmella to be the only one talked about? That's what SmackDown is doing. They're saving it for the first ever woman to cash in, to be a big deal. And my only point is, it's gonna overshadow it if she was to cash in on a night where the Usos killed it with the New Day and where Vince McMahon got destroyed. It would have ruined it, Blake. I'm sorry, you're wrong.
Hold on. Pipe down. Okay, so, like I said, I'm not saying it was the perfect opportunity for her to cash in. I'm just saying it was a great opportunity for her to cash in. But if she didn't, I wasn't gonna be upset about it. Was I upset that she didn't cash in last night? Yeah, but I'm like, okay, we're gonna wait for another opportunity. Like, there's gonna be another opportunity for her to cash in. Like,
and it'll be better.
Okay, sure.
Time out, bitch. What would be so you're saying that if she cashed in last night, it would have been more memorable?
No, well, how am I supposed to know if it's gonna be more memorable if I don't know what she's actually gonna cash in on? Like,
because you said that it would have made the show even more special, and I feel like there was nothing special about this Raw Vegas. The crowd was fucking dry, and it was just Vegas. Like, to me, like, I don't care that it was in fucking Vegas. Like, I've been to Vegas. Vegas is like whatever. It's a party city. I'm like, okay, big whoop. But
you're missing my point. My point is not. You're misunderstanding what I'm saying. I'm saying that it was a very great opportunity for her to cash in, but I'm not saying it was the only memorable opportunity for her to do so. I'm saying that there's going to be more in the future, but saying that
any SmackDown could be a moment for her to cash in. That's why I don't get it. I said any SmackDown could be a great opportunity for Carmella to cash in. I don't get it. But, like, why this one? That's what I'm asking you. Why the Vegas show? Why?
It's okay, but you're clouding your judgment just because of the crowd. You keep saying Vegas. If this
no. Oh, bitch, it ain't about the fucking crowd. The crowd. I'm just saying that's just on the side. Like, the crowd. All right, here's my meal. Okay, we had the stacked up card, whatever, great matches, but on the side, the crowd was whack. That's all I'm saying. It's not like they made the show.
If this SmackDown would have been in Chicago or any other city in the world, that wouldn't have made the difference. What I
wouldn't have wanted. Say if they had this card, with Vince McMahon in Chicago, even though Chicago is my favorite city to watch wrestling in, and when they're on TV, even if they were in there, I would tell you no. I didn't want Carmella to cash in Chicago with this card.
So let me just
go ahead.
Okay. What I was gonna say was it's. My whole idea by her cashing in had nothing to do with the simple fact of me thinking that it was the perfect opportunity for her to cash in. I was saying I wouldn't have been surprised if she did cash in because of the simple fact that, it would have been like it would have been a good time to do it. But I'm not saying that the other times in the future aren't going to be as memorable if she does cash in at a further date. All I'm saying was that if she would have cashed in, I would have been happy because I was like, it's Sin City SmackDown. Like, they're doing all these amazing moments on the card. Like, this is just another amazing moment to add to this memorable show, like, on a paper standpoint. But what made me think even more that she was going to cash in was because of what happened last week. And let me just refresh. She had dumped James. And then she had got back together with him, and she said, we're now going to be doing things my way. And I was like, okay, so now things are going to be done her way. I don't know why. I just got a vibe that she was going to cash in. So I was like, that's the vibe I got.
I think that with her telling him, like, we're going to do things my way was the introduction of her putting him on a dog chain where she can just reel him back in when he starts acting up. I think and then, she kissed him and then she smacked him. So I feel like that's what she was mentioning. Like, I didn't get any indication that she was going to cash in. But
not only that, it was another point of, I was thinking, like, okay, now James, he really wants to be with Carmella, right? He's going to do whatever it takes to get back in the good graces with her. So I was like, that's what made me get a vibe that she was going to cash in, because I was like, he's going to probably screw over whoever wins that match in some way, shape, or form for her to cash in. And that is what I and many, many other people thought, was that it was a good opportunity for her to cash in, but since it didn't happen, it is what it is. We're not going to sit here and cry about it, but it was a good opportunity for her to do so.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad that she didn't cash in. I feel like it would have been a waste. Absolute waste. And for the fans that feel like that was a great opportunity, really makes me question things. That's all I'm going to say. We just don't agree. I just question.
No, wait, hold on. You're not gonna throw that shade and not have me address it.
Well,
that
God,
has nothing
bitch.
to do.
I don't get it. Like, to me, it feels like you guys want it because you guys like Carmella. I like Carmella. I love Carmella.
James, what you fail to understand is that I've told this to you. I said this today, and I've told you this several times in the past.
Your opinion is not everybody else's opinion. Blah, 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 blah.
No, not that. Your perception of the way things should be is not everyone else's perception.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make your perception right, and it doesn't make our perception right either. It's just all about perception. If we perceive a certain situation a certain way, and we want it to go down a certain way, that's our perception of things. That doesn't mean it's right or wrong, and it doesn't mean yours is right or wrong. So with us having to feel like, oh, we wanted Carmella to cash in last night, that was the way we perceived things, and that was the way we perceived the situation. But since you didn't perceive it that way, that doesn't mean you're right.
Well,
or wrong.
no.
Right.
My thing is, I question it, and you guys don't like to be questioned. What's wrong with having a conversation? What's wrong with having? Because I want to understand what somebody else is thinking. So I ask questions, and then people feel like guarded. Like, wait, bitch, why are you coming for me? No. I'm just asking.
No,
how does this make sense? That's what I want to know to you. How does this make sense to you? Please explain it to me. And you've explained it to me. Well, you've attempted to explain it to me, but I'm still confused. I'm like, but it's not needed. So, like, why do you feel like it's needed? Oh, because it would make the night more special. I'm like, the night is already special. We had Vince McMahon get beat up. Oh, well, other people are still talking about New Day and blah, blah, blah. I was like, yeah, but everybody is still talking about the Vince thing. Wouldn't you want, just listen, hear me out, Blake. Wouldn't you want everybody to just be talking about Carmella? Because I feel like, remember when Charlotte and fucking Sasha Banks main event in Hell in a Cell, everybody was talking about them main eventing Hell in a Cell. You know what I mean? Like, because it was them, they had their storyline, they had their fucking moment. There was no other, we had Bayley, who was it? Was it Bayley and Dana early in the card? Or somebody was early in the card against Dana Brooke. I can't remember who it was. I think it was Alicia Fox. But like,
no, it was Bayley.
It was Bayley. Okay, but I think Alicia Fox was on the pre-show. Yeah, with Nia. So all I'm saying is, like,
that was Clash of Champions.
Well, whatever. Wouldn't you want, you know what I mean? Wouldn't you want them, Carmella, since you claim to be, like, a fan of hers, which I do believe you're a fan of hers. I'm a fan of hers. That's why I fight so hard with people who say that she should have cashed in. I feel like it would have been a great opportunity for her to cash in. In Vegas, I'm like, no, it wouldn't. It wouldn't be as memorable because you guys are missing the point that Vince McMahon got his fucking ass beat. That's all they want to talk about from that SmackDown. It doesn't make any sense for Carmella to be in that mix cashing in when Vince McMahon got pummeled by Kevin Owens. That's what they want us to talk about, and that is what everybody's going to talk about. So I just felt like Carmella would have been overshadowed, and that's why I said I question fans who think that. It makes me question you, like, so is it because you just don't want Natty to be champion? And it's like, no, that's not it. And then you revert back to your same reasoning that doesn't make sense to me. You get me? That's just what I'm saying.
Well, that's like what you're saying to me, though. It's like you're giving me the same information.
I know, but that doesn't. What I'm telling you doesn't make any sense to you. Be honest.
What you're telling me, no, it doesn't. And here's why. It's just because I see the point you're trying to make, but it's not. It's not a point that I'm. Not that I'm not interested in, but it's not a point that I'm like okay, and like that's the response I would give is like okay, and because. What you're failing to understand is that we're not saying it was the opportunity. We were saying it was a great opportunity. That's what you're not understanding is that we're not saying it was the,
okay. No.
That was the opportunity.
I get that, Blake. Like, I'm not saying that you're saying that this is her only opportunity. This is the moment that she needs to do it. I get that. I get that 100% that you feel like I feel that there are other nights. But my thing is, why do you feel like that night was an opportunity for her? Because I don't feel like that night was logical. Like, I just don't.
Okay, but James, this goes back.
Hold on. Ooh, let me give it this way, Blake. Let me tell you it this way, where I would agree with you. Had the Usos not defend their title, okay, and Vince McMahon wasn't on the card, then I would have been more okay. I see what you mean. You know what I mean? Then I would have been like more like, okay, I get you. Yeah, it would have made sense. You know, they're hyping it up, SmackDown, blah, 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 blah. But that wasn't the case. That's all I'm saying. You get me? I feel like Vince McMahon and the New Day defending their titles in that crazy ass match. Like, no. Sorry. But I'll let you get the last word before we move on.
I mean, all I'm going to say is that I'll just rewind back to history. Let's take a little trip down memory lane. the first Raw after the draft was when Sasha won her title, but it was also the same night where Finn Balor made his debut, and it was also the same night where Braun Strowman made his debut, and it was also the same night where where Finn Balor also beat Roman Reigns in like 2 different matches and became number 1 contender. They revealed a new title. Like, there was all that stuff, but everybody remembers it, don't they?
But
yes,
Blake, first woman to win a Money in the Bank contract. Think about that. Let that seep in. The first woman. It gotta be a big moment. And then you had the Mae Young Classic. After that, it would have overshadowed the night for her. It's not a good night for her. Absolutely not. No, period, point blank. Speaking of the Mae Young Classic, we had the Mae Young Classic red carpet. Did you check out the red carpet?
No. Hold on.
Go, get it in, bitch, because I'm over it. Get it in.
No, you can be over it. That's fine. What I'm telling you is, this just goes back to my original point. Just because you didn't see that night being...
I'm not the only one. WWE didn't see it that way either.
Let me finish.
Go on.
Since you didn't see that night as a night where like, oh, no, there's all this stuff that would have overshadowed her. Okay, that's your perception of what the show was going to be. Our perception was different.
Wait, say that again? Say that again?
I said you didn't want her to cash in because you're like, oh no, all these things are going to overshadow it. She needs to have her own night.
Yes.
And that's your perception of what should have happened.
And WWE's perception.
Exactly, but WWE's perception is not always right.
Exactly.
History. Okay, so, but that doesn't mean our perception is wrong, and like, I feel like you're blowing it.
No. Your perception.
I feel like you're.
Go on.
No. I feel like you're making like too big of a deal out of the situation. Here's why: because you're bringing up the simple fact of that. Why this night? We never said it was the night. We just said it could have been one of the nights where she cashed in.
And I'm saying no, it shouldn't have been. That's all I'm saying.
But, like, it's not that deep. Like, it's not like that serious. Like of a. Like, because we're not saying, it's not like we're out here saying, oh my gosh, that was the only opportunity where Carmella should have cashed in. That's the only opportunity she had, and that was the perfect night, and no other night is going to amount to it. We're just saying that would have been a cool opportunity. We're not saying it's the only opportunity. Okay. We're just saying it would have been a cool opportunity.
I get you.
That's it.
And now,
Period, point blank. Now I'm moving on to the Mae Young Classic.
Perfect. And like I said earlier on the show, when I said that you're resorting back to the same reason, I don't understand. You just did it again, Blake. But okay, that's fine. That's fine. Again, but, we're gonna agree. We're gonna just sit and agree to disagree, right? I feel like that's the best way. But listeners, I know you guys are sitting there sipping the tea. I want you guys to comment and let us know. What do you think? How do you feel about that whole situation?
They're going to feel the same way I feel, but go on.
That's fine. Everybody's entitled to their wrong opinion. But it is what it is. It's fine. So we had the Mae Young red carpet, which was a bit of a letdown, if you ask me, honestly, because I felt like for years I've been excited. I've been super excited for like the red carpet for the Hall of Fame, right? But they would do the red carpet in front of the stage inside of the arena when red carpets are usually placed outside of an arena. So I liked how they had them outside of the arena coming in, and they had the whole red carpet set up. They had the backdrop. I like that aspect, but I just hated that they had this going on Facebook. Was it? Where did they broadcast this from? It wasn't on the WWE network.
Okay, it was on Facebook Live through WWE's Facebook.
Now, who was the fucking fool that came up with that fucking idea? Because I want them fired. Because first of all, you couldn't even hear Kathy Kelly. You couldn't even hear her interview the cast of Glow. Like the fucking volume was such a fucking mess, and it was just so annoying. I feel like it was such a missed opportunity, and I was excited for the red carpet because of all the familiar faces that were gonna be there. So it was a bit lackluster. And why are you gonna put it on the Facebook Live feed? Like, that doesn't make any damn sense to me. Any thoughts, Blake, on the red carpet?
I didn't necessarily watch the red carpet.
There was nothing to watch.
I just watched the glimpses and like the pictures that people posted on Twitter. Like, I know the glow people,
The cast.
the little TV, the cast that got interviewed, and I saw some of the girls from the Classic get interviewed, and I was like, but I didn't miss anything. The thing should have been on the network from 6 to 7 before SmackDown.
Yeah, I get you. Yep. So that was just another missed opportunity in WWE's hands. Like, so stupid. And another thing, what I will praise is Kathy Kelly. You guys better get that bitch on the red carpet for the Hall of Fame interviewing people. Her and Renee can do it. I don't want to see Jerry the King Lawler. Absolutely not. Because Renee and Kathy Kelly do a good job at this. But I also want to mention that on the WWE Network, we had a 6-woman tag match with Beth Phoenix on the commentary booth. In the match, there was Marty Bell, Santana Garrett, I forget who was Jazz. No, who was Santana Garrett's partner?
It was
Marty Bell. It was another woman.
No, you mixed them all up. It was
the girl Sarah, Marty Bell, and Santana Garrett versus Jazzy, Kaylee, and
Tessa Blanchard.
Tessa, my girl Tessa. Now this match was freaking good. This match was so good. Tessa is forever. I love that whole little quote of hers. I thought she did amazing in this match. I thought she did great. I loved her little impact DDT that she does. Very innovative. Santana Garrett, girl, I like that little combo that she did with Kaylee Ray and Jazzy on fucking point. Great spot. And then fucking Jazzy just stole the show. She looked like a fucking monster. And I loved how I'm not a big fan of Marty Bell, but she did really good in this match. She looked really scared in the match, especially when she was laying down and then she just noticed that Jazzy was hovering over her. I thought that was a great cinematic feel. Like, it looked really, really good. And I also I really enjoyed Jazzy's finisher, how she flipped Santana on her shoulder and then slammed her in for the pin, and the crowd was really heavy, and the please sign Jazzy chants busted out. I thought it was great for these women, and Beth Phoenix was on the commentary booth, and this might not be like, could be a little shady and some people might not like it, but I prefer Beth Phoenix over Lita on commentary. I just feel like this is not Lita's thing, commentary. And I see WWE pushing it because she's such a known women's wrestler and they want a known women's wrestler commentating, but I feel like that should have been Beth Phoenix throughout the whole tournament. That's just how I feel. But Blake, what did you think about that match?
I thought the match was really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
I think all of those girls should get signed. Sarah Logan's already signed.
Yeah.
But I think all those girls deserve a contract, and that just kind of opens the door to see who else is going to get signed, and I'm pretty sure a plethora of the girls are going to get signed. But it was a good match, and I was happy with it. And as far as the Beth Phoenix Lita thing, I don't really personally care for either of them on commentary, just because they're not trained journalists. Like,
I get you. You're right. Yeah.
So it is what it is. It's not really. I never really paid attention to the commentary.
I would have preferred Morrow or Nigel to do it with JR. I just would have preferred it.
Of course. I didn't think it was necessary to have
Lita or
a female commentator. I know they wanted to do that just because, Mae Young Classic, women, I get it, but you don't need it. Like,
no, it's
Morrow
not necessary.
And JR, so it would have been fine.
Yeah, let the men put over the women. Like, why does it have to be a woman putting over a woman? Like, even though I get the woman empowerment stuff, but I just feel like that's not what they're trained at. Like what you just said, put a professional up there and let's call this match down the line. But overall, I loved it. Now, another thing before we get into the Mae Young Classic finale that aired last night, a lot of fans on social media were complaining about who was missing, who wasn't there for the finale, why this one didn't show up, where was this one, what the fuck. You guys seem to forget that we suffered 2 hurricanes and the flights were all screwed up from Florida, and majority of those wrestlers live in Florida, so they just couldn't make the show. That's just it. I'm pretty sure WWE wanted all of the women there. They just couldn't make it. So, it's a bummer, obviously, but it is what it fucking is.
I mean, what's her face? Dakota Kai tweeted out, "I'm so sorry I can't make the Mae Young Classic. Unfortunately, my flights were all mixed up because of the hurricanes that had happened." So I'm like, it is what it is.
It is what it is. That's life, man. It sucks because it would have been nice to see Dakota. You know what I mean? It would have been nice to see some of the other women that we like. Miranda would have been cool to see her. It would have been dope to see Rhea, because Rhea has a big fan base off of that. Like, she generated a lot of people interested in Rhea as well. It would have been cool to see Bianca Belair. They just couldn't make it. So it just sucks. It just fucking sucks. Period.
Right.
But So now let's talk about the match. let's talk about the match. We had Shayna versus Kairi Sane. And what I will say is the match was good, okay? It was good, a good match, but Shayna's still a little green for me. And the crowd started to wake up a little bit towards the end. And the thing, I feel like they just wasn't interested because they didn't know any of the talent. You know, it's just the general fans. Not everybody has a WWE network, so they didn't know who these women were. But towards the end of the match, they started to wake up because, you know, Kairi and Shayna were doing a good job in that ring. But, you know, the results came in, and Kairi ended up winning the Mae Young Classic, which is really predictable. If you didn't see Kairi winning, then you need to go see an eye doctor. But my thing is, and then I saw the backlash on social media. Everybody is upset. And they're blaming, like, because, you know, there's a lot of people that were not really big fans of Shayna, and I'm not one myself. I don't know about you, Blake, but we'll get your opinion in a second. But
I don't even know her.
But I respect her from what she's done in the MMA world, but I feel like that shouldn't carry on into her wrestling. I feel like that's her background in MMA is what got her in that position. And I feel like it just wasn't fair for a lot of the women because she's so green. And there's a lot of seasoned vets that were in this competition, and for her to just bail through with just a chokehold, and it's just, and then when you watched her perform in the match, it was just it was a bit lackluster. And for the fans that are attacking people that aren't fans of Shayna like myself and saying that we don't like her because we don't think she's pretty, are you fucking kidding me? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me, Kimmy? Like, what the fuck? Like, I sit here and I tell people, like, oh, you don't like this person just because she's not attractive. I say that to people all the time because sometimes people do that shit. Like, I agree with some people do that. But when it comes to Shayna, who's so green, like, the girl's a tree. Are you kidding me? Like, it just was lackluster. I don't know what else to say. I don't want to bash the girl. I feel like more time in the NXT and in the Performance Center will do her well. Because honestly, I feel like Daria is a better performer than Shayna in the ring. And they have similar backgrounds. And you know why? Because Daria has had that training with NXT and the Performance Center and how to work a crowd. And Shayna likes to say that she's used to being out in front of the crowd and stuff like that. But girl, you don't convey that. You don't command the stage like these other women do. So it just wasn't believable for me. It just looked like she was playing pretend. But Blake, what are your thoughts?
Okay, so as far as Kairi Sane and Shayna Baszler, I don't care for either of these women. Personally, I don't think either of them should have been in the Mae Young Classic finals. I think it should have been other girls, especially, I mean, I'm more okay with Kairi than Shayna, obviously, for the reasons that you had just expressed. Shayna's green. She lacks stage presence. She lacks personality. And quite frankly, there's no point. I don't know. I just feel like if this whole Mae Young Classic was geared towards, women's wrestling, women's revolution, all about women's wrestling, like, why are you going to put a girl in the finals that can barely wrestle? And that's not shade, that's just the truth. I feel like a girl like, Piper, Abby May, Kaylee Ray, Toni Storm, Candice LeRae, those girls, that would have been a more understandable finals for the inaugural Mae Young Classic. Can you
imagine the match one of those girls would have gave us against Kairi? It was just a missed opportunity. And that's why it was lackluster. Her win was like, Cute.
Exactly. That's why. I mean, I'm out of the two. I'm glad Kairi won because I'm like, at least someone who's actually established in this ring actually won. Because 90% of the girls in this tournament were established. The other 10% were either NXT girls that were fresh and new, or Shayna. So, but the match was good. I think the match was good, but
it was good.
You can tell Kairi really sold well for Shayna. Shayna was really putting over a body part each time for Kairi. It was a good match, but I think I feel like the motto for this episode is missed opportunity.
Yeah.
It was just another missed opportunity for WWE. Not so much on Kairi's part, because I mean, I knew she was going to be in the end, but
it was just so predictable. It was predictable. Like, what I will say, I'll give some positives. Like, I for the match, I felt like I liked how Kairi attacked her abdomen, because that's her only way to break out of the chokehold if Shayna locks her into the chokehold. So the psychology was there, but that's the psychology. But when it comes to the stage presence, the performance, and how to convey a crowd, how to be a heel and stuff like that, like, I just felt like she was so green, and I felt like she was going spot to spot to spot. Could have been nerves. You can say that, but I've watched other matches of her in NXT, and she was very green. But I like her finisher. I like how she does the overhead and drops them into it. I like how she jumps off the top turnbuckles and can catch them anyway into her chokehold. I like there are redeemable qualities of Shayna. But what I'm saying is that she's not at that point where she should have made it that far. It just doesn't make any sense for me. I feel like Mercedes Martinez should have eliminated her maybe the second or third round. It just is what it is. It was a missed opportunity. You're going to put a woman that's only been wrestling for 2 years go through like that and still so green. Like, Bianca Belair has done it less than her. And Bianca oozes personality, oozes charisma. It's all over her. So I'm like, and you guys know I stand for Bianca. I love her. She's my number 2. Behind Charlotte Flair. Let's get it together. But I just love her. And I feel like that, not even Tessa Blanchard. Like, Tessa Blanchard and Kairi had the best match out of the whole tournament. And that's just my opinion. That's popular opinion. A lot of people. Blake, who was your favorite match? I gotta ask. Out of the whole thing. You gotta pick one. You gotta pick one. I picked my one. You know I love. And I know it's hard because, like, I loved Piper.
There was a lot of good matches.
It was.
Man. Okay, but before I say who my number 1 match is, Abby Laith, I love you. All your matches were iconic and legendary, but it was probably Tessa, Kairi.
Yeah.
Probably. I mean,
let me ask you
if not that.
Go on.
Honestly, I loved Kairi and Bianca's match.
Yeah, I loved that.
To be honest, I loved it in that match, even though it was rookie versus like a veteran. But like, Bianca went off in that match. She really shocked the world, and she got that recognition from Triple H. So I'm expecting that push. She took that was her moment, and she took the opportunity. And WWE did her right. They put the winner to eliminate her. So I'm glad that they did that. But with Abby Laith, how do you feel about her finisher? I don't like it. Of course, I listen to the show, and I know you don't like it. But if you see, the first time she used it, it was just a surprise. It was just the pin.
Mm-hmm.
But her last 2 matches, she did the power bomb and then did the pin with it, and I'm okay with that. Because she does a power bomb and then she does the float over pin like that, and I'm okay with it. I don't like the pin by itself. No.
Okay. I think I missed the power bomb.
Yeah, if it's with a power bomb transitioned into that pin, I'm here for it. Because I love Abby Laith. I think she was the workhorse of the whole Mae Young Classic.
I like her too. Opinion. I think she's a good seller. I think she sells really well for the girls. I think she's in it for the craft. You know what I mean? I like her, but I just feel like she needs some work. And like, I don't like to talk about women and their looks and stuff like that, but what she looks like now kind of looks like how Ember Moon looked like when she just came into WWE. And I feel like she needs to like really hone her look. Her look needs to be down pat, because what she has going on right now, it's not meshing with me. But I think she'll find her footing, because I feel like she's resilient, and she's been in this business long enough that she knows a thing or two. So I'm sure she'll figure it out, especially after looking back and watching herself on television. Like, she finally had that opportunity to go out there and get feedback from the WWE universe. So I think that's gonna do her well. And I just wish her the best. I just hope that she comes up with something else besides that finisher. Maybe add something else besides the powerbomb, me a little more innovative, and then add in the pin. You get me? Just, I don't know.
I mean,
like I
said,
basic.
If she does the powerbomb into the pin, then,
that's fine. But it's just like, okay. It's just a little boring. I just want her to add in. Just put in more Abby Laith into it. Put in more of you, girl. That's all I'm asking.
See, I feel like that's the issue that you're trying to target is, who is Abby Laith? We don't really know who she is yet, and I feel like NXT after this tournament is going to establish her more. Along with girls like Bianca and Lacey, like those girls are going to start getting established. So,
but what I will say is, she's definitely not an afterthought. Like you said, that you feel like she was like a workhorse.
Definitely not.
I loved her match with Jazzy. Like, are you kidding? Like, it was a good match. And I like her. I don't want that misconception that I don't like Abby Lath, because I do like her. She's one of those girls, maybe she's going to have that whole Naomi thing with me where I know you're capable of more and I want to push you. You know what I mean? Where you're like, great. Because I like her too. I do. So... You know, Kairi won. Shout out to her. Overall, I love the Mae Young Classic. I can't wait for the next one to see the girls that come into that one. I think that would be super dope. But now we got some news because Kairi won. It's been announced that Kairi will debut at an NXT Takeover, and she will be inserted in a multi-women's match for the vacated NXT Women's Championship. And I'm like over the moon for this. I'm super excited for this match. I can't wait to see some of the girls that are going to be in it. It's been rumored that there's going to be an 8-woman match. So with Kairi taking that 8th spot, so there's 7 women. I honestly, like, I'm not going to name every girl I want in there, but Blake, I'm sure you can. But
of course,
I would love it if my girl Bianca Belair is in there. And you know what? Sonya. I feel like Sonya deserves a spot because Sonya's been working her ass, getting her gimmick together. She's very promising in the ring. NXT has been showcasing her as of late, and I feel like she deserves a spot in there. But Blake, what are your thoughts with the whole match? Do you have any ideas on who you'd want to see in there? What's the tea?
I think the match is perfect. We rarely ever see multi-woman matches for the title anyway. It's mostly they love the traditional one-on-one, which is fine. But you know, I feel like this match is going to introduce the new generation, and here's why. I don't think hear me out on this. I don't think any new girls are going to be in this match, and here's why. A couple weeks ago on NXT, you had the Icons say they won a match for the championship. Sonya Deville had a match last week, and they said that she's looking for a title match. I feel like it's going to be Kairi Sane, Ruby Riott, Peyton, Billy, Nikki Cross, Sonya Deville, and Ember Moon.
Okay.
And I feel like, because that's kind of that generation, and then I feel like after that, either some of those girls will go up, or some will stay, and then I feel like Kairi's still going to win the belt regardless of who's in the match, and then Kairi will introduce that new era of girls like Bianca, like Lacey, like Mandy Rose, like Sonya, like Zeta, like Xia Li, you know what I mean? So, and I feel like that's, you know, it is what it is. But personally, I'd love to see my girl Mandy Rose in the match, Bianca, but we'll have to wait and see. But I definitely see a lot of the girls from the previous generation being in the match just to kind of send them off. I mean, I feel like, you know, 8 people. I mean, I didn't hear about that. I didn't hear about it being an 8-person match. Honestly, personally, I feel like that's too many. Like an 8-pack challenge elimination. Like, we've never had a match like that before in history.
I think it's going to be a gauntlet.
I mean, I guess that'd be okay. But I'd prefer, if it was going to be a multi-women's match, nothing bigger than a fatal 5-way or a fatal 4-way. Just because, I mean, I don't see the reason to put 8 girls in the match.
Yeah, I see what you mean. I see exactly what you mean, but I see that because this was a report from ESPN. But I think a gauntlet would be good because they have the Women Day and the title's vacated and everybody wants it. So I think a gauntlet would be reasonable. But we just gotta wait and see how that's gonna fold through. But since we're on the NXT topic and NXT's on tonight, I want to talk a little bit before we wrap up. I want to talk a little bit about the Zelina and Peyton little feud that was going on on social media. Did you check that out? Did you catch the shade between the two of them?
I did, and I thought it was very funny. I popped my popcorn. It was very, very funny.
For the listeners that haven't seen that, so apparently a fan tweeted Billie Kay and asked her if she would. I think they tweeted Zelina and asked Zelina if she would be open to doing because it was video game day a couple of days ago, if she would be open to sit down and play video games with Billie Kay for today and record it or blah blah blah. And then Peyton Royce jumped in and said, absolutely not, that's my girl, she's not gonna come into. And then Zelina's like, oh, you need to mind your own business and you need to stay out of my man's fucking DMs and blah blah blah. It was some shade about who was. Do you remember verbatim was it Zelina said to Peyton?
Okay, so like it was the fan, right? Mm-hmm. The fan was mentioning about the game day stuff and everything like that, I'm going to pull up Sam and I'm just going to have all the tweets right here for you.
Yes, please do.
So, fan tweeted, at Zelina Vega, you should do a video game session with Billy Kay and film it. That'd be cool and funny. Zelina was like, are you down, Billy Kay? And Peyton was like, no, she's not down. Don't talk to her. And then
I love Peyton.
And then Zelina said, she said, what? She's like, afraid of me and your iconic partner having more in common. She said, I can sit with you guys. And then Peyton said, hey, Andrade Sin Almas, your chick loca. And then Zelina said, or are you just mad because I outed you for sliding in Andrade's DMs? Watch yourself because I'll make you in the Sims game just to smack you. Ooh. And then Peyton said, or are you mad because he replied? And then
the clapbacks from Peyton were on fucking point though.
And then Zelina had like a little gif of like this one girl like grabbing some girl from behind and like
it
pushing
was
her.
For the listeners, if you guys don't know, because Blake, you never watched I Love New York. I Love New York, Flavor of Love.
Mm-mm.
Oh, you are a baby. I forget. So, for the listeners, the ones that are old enough, you guys remember the, Flavor of Love when New York was...
I'm not old enough. I just never watched it.
Because you ain't old enough. If you were my age, you would have watched it back in the day. It was a cult classic reality show, and it was just ratchet. But New York, yeah. Remember when Pumpkin spit on New York and New York ran after her and shoved their head into the camera? That's the gif that Zelina sent to Peyton. It was just a good kiki. It was such a good kiki. And I tweeted, I was like, this is what I've been wanting for years. I would love to see Peyton and Zelina go at it. Like, this would be dope. Like, a good feud between two women that can be so shady like that, but yet so talented in the ring. I would live for that. So it would be nice if something forms of this, like maybe like a backstage segment or something. Like, I'm not saying like they need a match tomorrow. I'm just saying like they should cross paths on NXT, because that was really entertaining, and it was only on social media with gifs and texts. So shout out to them, super entertaining. They got me through my day. I got a good kiki out of that. But Blake, my friend, me and you both love video gaming. You kick my ass on the daily.
That's what you deserve.
WWE 2K. Well, let me tell you something, bitch. I've been training and honing my craft. And I ain't too bad, because I can give you a match. We have good matches, even though you end up winning. Mostly, but we do have good matches together. You can't deny that.
I mean, we have good matches, but...
You win. I say it. You do win.
Yeah. I mean, you have good matches, and I'm really glad that you are training. Like, I'm glad after several years you finally decided to get back in the ring and train. But, I mean, I didn't know she was opening a school. I didn't know you were training with Rosa. Like, I didn't know that.
Get your life, bitch. I knew that was coming. I was letting you get your life and build up the shade. I knew it was coming. But I was like, let me let him get his life, all right? I knew it was coming. So, bitch, get it out. Eddie Boy, Rosa, bed that shade.
No, I mean, no. All funny jokes aside, no, I'm excited. I'm excited to, like, play the game and, like, play with people online and stuff like that. It's gonna be fun.
And Blake is super fun to play with. I love playing with Blake. It's so much fun. We do have good matches. We cuss each other out while we play, and I call him a bitch. Sam will jump in with us here and there and play, but it's super fun, and I'm really excited.
Oh, well, y'all don't need to play with Sam and James, because they jump. They jump everybody. Everybody, so...
We're a tag team.
So they're basically just like a knockoff of the Iconic Duo, just for a warning. They jump people, but I still end up winning because I'm the bestest, I'm the greatest, I'm the toughest.
You ain't Bianca Belair though, bitch, so stop right there. But Blake, did you see the new announcements from this week? Let's just talk about what's out today, because this is probably going to be our last topic. The whole my career mode and the my player mode. Did you check out all of this stuff?
I did.
I have a question for you, because you know a lot about the video games. I always come and ask you about it. Is the women going to be able to do this? Because I haven't seen any reports. I looked around. I was like, I'm just going to ask Blake today. Could you play as a female character in my career mode this year?
No.
See, that's such a bummer.
And here, actually, when the game had, about a few months ago, probably at the start of summer, so like May, June, one of the 2K accounts, like 2K Dev, he's the one who kind of like does all the reveals and stuff. He tweeted out and said, I don't know where this rumor's coming from about being able to use women in my career mode, but that's not going to be a thing this year, but it will be considered for future games. And I'm like, they say this every year. But, unfortunately, no. But what I will say is that the My Career mode this year for a superstar, yeah, free roam. Free roam is back like Road WrestleMania, like back in like SBR days.
Yeah.
For those of you who are too young to know, SmackDown versus Raw. Those are like lit games. And you can do like the free roaming backstage. You can approach superstars. You can even approach seamstresses to make gear for you.
That's awesome.
So you can do all this conversation. And the most creative thing that I found out, you can invade other people's career mode. And what I mean by that is, for example, I can have a career mode. I can create a superstar. James can have a career mode and create a superstar. And if we're both online, I can catch him walking backstage. And we can talk. We can make an alliance.
So it's a lobby. It basically, essentially, it's a lobby on my. I think that's under my player, right?
Yes, basically, that's what it is. And we can align with each other. I can attack you. You can attack me. We can go out there and have a match. Like so. And you can kind of like be in each other's career mode. I don't know if it's just like for that one time you're both playing, or if it's going to be a foreseeable future type thing. They haven't really specified, but from what I'm gathering is that I can invade his career mode whenever I want, and he can invade my career mode whenever he wants.
That's pretty cool.
And that's cool. Or not whenever he wants, but only when I'm like backstage. Like I can see like James probably chilling over there, like up against the garage door, and I can go over there and talk to him about, I can slap him in the face. They say you can like attack them, you can bombard them, you can interrupt interviews backstage, and they're like, if you want an interview, all you have to do is go up to Renee Young and ask for an interview. And I was like, it's a lot more hands-on, a lot more free. So I'm probably gonna play my career mode this year. I didn't play it this year because I was like, it's the same thing. And the promo engine's fixed. They have 200 new animations for the promos, like for new lines and everything. So I'm very, very excited to play the game for my career mode.
Me too. I'm super excited, and I know a lot of the listeners, they also big time gamers. So it's gonna be interesting when the game comes out and see how this all works out. I just hope that the online runs smoothly. Last year, I feel like the previous one, I feel like that one ran pretty good, but I feel like it could be better. So
yeah, no,
it always can be better.
2K17 was a trash game.
You feel so? I feel like it's a big improvement from previous games.
With as far as gameplay, I play online a lot more than you, I think.
Yeah, you do. Way more.
And I play with several people, and like when we play Fatal 4-Ways and Triple Threats, it's just like it's laggy, it's glitchy. There's like there's random glitches in the game, and for those of you who do have 2K17, you know what I'm talking about. If you play online, there's always these glitches and attempting to restore the connection due to poor bandwidth. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So I mean, but it's gonna be fun, and I'm excited for the roster this year. I already made my rosters for my universe mode. I have like the superstars, tag teams, women. I'm gonna do all of it. I have my little journal. I have everything.
That's
so
awesome.
I'm ready.
So Blake, are you getting the deluxe edition so you could play 4 days earlier?
Oh, of course. It's already pre-ordered. It's already ready to go.
So when you do that, because I'm right now I'm debating. I just have a lot. I have so many trips coming up. So I'm like, do I want to pre-order it now? Or do I want to wait and just buy the game when it comes out? Because when the game comes out 4 days earlier, I'll be in New York. So it doesn't make any sense for me to pay for it. You get what I mean? So I wouldn't even be able to play it then. So I was thinking, like, can I purchase my deluxe even though after it's released? Or is that you have to purchase a deluxe or pre-order it before it's released? Like, I don't get it.
As far as I know, I think you have to... digital, like, because this is the very first year where I'm doing my video game through the PlayStation Store. I usually buy a disc copy.
I know. I don't know if I want to do that.
So I bought it digitally this year. But as far as I know, I may be wrong on this. Don't take my word for it. But I think you can only get the deluxe like as a pre-order type thing. But what I will tell you is that if you get the deluxe, you save money. Because when you buy the deluxe, and it's like $93, but you don't have to pay for the season pass, and you don't have to pay for any of the DLC. It's all included.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. Hopefully, I'm gonna check into that. I'm gonna look into it tonight.
And you get to play 4 days earlier, and you get RVD and Batista already on disc. You don't have to wait for those DLC, and you get the John Cena alternate characters, and you get all this other bonus stuff. So I'm like, okay, $60 versus $90.
So do I get all the like new moves and stuff, or like when they come out, or those
like the new moves pack if they have one?
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll get it.
But the ones that they come and release later on, that I'd have to purchase.
Okay, so like there's going to be certain DLCs that you won't have. The season pass for sure you don't have to pay for. But there's going to be other DLCs that are going to be included in the deluxe edition where you don't have to pay for them whenever they release, whether it be November, December, January. You won't have to pay for it. All you have to do is download it. But there will be certain DLCs where they won't be included. Like, for example, maybe the NXT Enhancement Pack that features, like, you know, certain NXT superstars will not be included, and it'll be like a separate thing you have to purchase. You get what I mean?
Yes. Well, Blake, thank you for all the information. I think I'm going to put you back on when the game is released. Actually, you want to do the reveal with us when all the models are revealed? We'll go over the entrances and stuff. I think you should come on and do it with me.
Yes, I would love to. Because what I will tell you is, this is another information for Dank Ops. He said he's going to be releasing the women's entrances this year whenever
he gets them. Yeah, he did them last year as well.
Yeah, so whenever that video drops, I'll send it to you, and of course I want to come on the show and discuss it with you guys because I love talking about that stuff.
That would be fun. So definitely. Okay. Well, Blake, you want to give the listeners your credentials, like I told Sam last week, and where they can find you at?
Y'all can I only use Twitter, so you can just follow me on Twitter at @topguysout_. James, thank you for having me on the show. I appreciate it. I always love coming on this stuff and just talking wrestling in general, whether it be male or female. I just love talking about wrestling. So thank you for letting me be on the show, and I'll talk to you soon.
And we'll see Blake, guys. We'll see Blake again on the show. He's going to come on, and we're going to go over the entrances. All right. Thanks, Blake. Thanks for taking an hour and 45 minutes to sit down and talk to me, bitch.
No problem. Catch you later.
Toodaloo. That was fun talking to Blake for a little bit, but guys, we got to get back to our job, what we came here to do. Got to clean up this mess, baby. So let's talk about let's talk a little bit about NXT. That's what I think we're gonna talk about right now. Let me pull up what I have to say about NXT because I had to take down some notes so I could remember everything clearly. But we had the Icons, Billie Kay and Peyton Royce, who opened the show. I was really surprised that they were opening the show, and it was so good to see them. I like their new little Titantron. I think it looks good. I love how they mixed up the Billie Kay and Peyton Royce, and then we have the Billie Kay theme song, and then you have the Peyton Royce effects. Oh my god, I can't even remember what to call those things. But you know, the vines and stuff on the screens, like visually it looks really cool. I just like that. But it was a good match. I thought it was a good match between them and Ruby Riott. But was it with them and Ruby Riott, baby? Because Nikki Cross was just chilling outside of the ring, like while the match was going on. Nikki Cross just came lurking in, just watching, just being very ghost-like. And she was just sitting in the back, just chilling, watching, and Ruby didn't even realize that she was out there. So I was just thinking, I was like, didn't William Regal say that Ruby needs a partner, that she can't go up against them one-on-one? So I was a little confused about that. But whatever, it was a 2-on-1 match, handicap match. You know, the Icons started getting in on her, jumping her and shit, and then all of a sudden Nikki Cross tagged herself and got a couple of moves and gave leverage to Ruby, and then Ruby jumped off the top rope and pinned I think it was Peyton Royce. No, I think it was Billie Kay that got pinned. But overall, it was a good match. It was fun. It was entertaining. And I like that NXT is heading into that direction with storytelling. It's about damn time. Like, you guys have the talent down there. Let's start utilizing these women and getting them in interesting storylines. And now that Asuka has been called up, there's that opening. Everybody's positioning themselves, getting ready for the new era of NXT. So I'm excited, and I thought the Icons looked really good. Like, Peyton Royce looks so cute in her high-waisted trunks. I love it. It's so cute. Even her top is cute. Billie Kay looks amazing. Like, they both look so damn good, and they do the damn job when they're in the ring, so they're super entertaining. And I like Ruby. I like that Ruby's growing out her hair. I can't wait for it to get really, really long, and she just keeps that shaved side. I hope she keeps growing it. It looks really good on her, and I love Ruby. I think she's awesome. And now I'm interested to see what's going to come about with this thing with her and Nikki Cross. Because, Nikki Cross is all over the damn place. But I'm excited to see what's going to come about with this. But overall, I liked it. It was a good segment. Have you guys been watching TNA? Ooh, girl, GFW. So GFW's been going on and about, and I've been checking in. I've been interested to see what's going on because I read that my girl Hanaya got signed. So I want to see what's the field like, what's the playing ground. I want to get a feel of everybody before she comes into the mix. So that's why I started watching it again. But my other homegirl Taya debuted on TNA. She came out and it looked like she was going to be a babyface real quick against Taryn Terrell and Sienna, and they were in the ring beating up on Rosemary. They just won a match against, I don't remember if they won or not, but it was against Gail Kim and what's her name, Allie. So the match was it wasn't good. Whatever. It was come on, TNA, you guys can do better. And then and it's not the girls' fault because they're all talented, but whoever's booking the match is just the whole Taryn thing, it just wasn't making sense. The whole thing is a mess. And then Taya comes out and she taunts that she's gonna help out Rosemary, but she doesn't, and she ends up jumping Rosemary as well and throwing her out into the ring, and then we get a standoff with 3 women in the ring, Taya, Sienna, and Taryn, whatever. It's just so another faction, really? That's what we're gonna do? GFW. That's what drove TNA to a fucking wall. I was so sick of it. It was always a fucking faction with the women. It's put out some single stars. Why is Gail Kim always the fucking star? It's just so annoying. I'm tired of it. I don't want to see another fucking faction in fucking TNA. It's so annoying. But I'm gonna keep watching because I can't wait for my girl Hanaya to pop up in the mix. Alright guys, coming close. You guys know I always come with the tea, and I'm willing to serve. Now, baby, WWE really wants Ronda Rousey. Okay? They really, really want her. They want her so bad, you could smell it. It stinks. So, guys, let's clean it up. Okay? Here's the tea. There's been a report out right now that the finals for the Mae Young Classic was supposed to be between Toni Storm and Kairi, of course. But since WWE knew that if they pushed Shayna, they would have had Ronda for a live viewing on the network, just to drawing more ratings and stuff like that. And they promoted everything with Ronda Rousey and the 4 Horsewomen and yada yada yada. So they decided to go with Shayna to use kind of her as an anchor to bring in Ronda fucking Rousey. And it's so fucking obvious. They so thirsty for fucking Ronda Rousey that they're gonna basically not give us a good match for the finals and give us somebody green like Shayna just because they want something from this. And it looks like they're getting it because I believe that Ronda is coming to WWE. I really do. I see it happening. She has no fights planned, nothing. So I think she's coming to WWE, and they're just getting the format ready for her. And it's just I get it. It's business. I'm not a fucking idiot. I see that bringing in Ronda Rousey and pushing Shayna is going to bring them more of a revenue and mainstream media, especially with sports, ESPN, They want to do that crossover so bad, so I see them doing it. Now you see mixed martial arts mixing up with boxing now. There's that whole conversation of UFC fighters and boxers now because of the Mayweather-McGregor fight. So I see WWE wanting to get into that mix. You know, they got Brock Lesnar. Now why not get a female for the women's division? And they're trying to really push the women's division sky high now. And especially signing a deal with Ronda Rousey would mean like they're going in hard, but it's just like how are we gonna book Ronda and still make the other WWE female superstars look strong and legit? That's the difficult thing, because we will get sick of Ronda winning in WWE. So it's just food for thought. I thought I'd share because shit looked real suspicious, and y'all know I'm always here to share the tea. But in other news, good news, fucking Maurice is pregnant, baby. The must-see baby, the it baby. I love all the hashtags that her and Miz are playing around with, and I'm so, like, happy for them. Like, congrats. Like, Maurice, have your baby, girl. Raise your baby. Do your thing, and then pop up someday in WWE and help Miz win something. And come back on the road and bring the baby along. But, yeah, but I got more tea, guys. Okay? Now, come on in real close. I didn't say back up yet. Did I tell you guys that I was done with the tea? I don't believe so. But apparently Baron Corbin is receiving a lot of heat backstage. Reports are, this is my Nancy Drew. No, but reports are that he got into an argument with a doctor backstage at SmackDown about concussions and how they occur and how do you prevent them, how do you heal concussions. You know, they just got into it and they were explaining different kinds of concussions and this, that, and the third. So now you're thinking, why the hell is Baron Corbin, a WWE wrestler, former football player, arguing about facts with a doctor about concussions? And Baron Corbin basically let the doctor know that what he's saying has legs because he's involved in a major lawsuit with multiple other players with the NFL, and WWE had no idea that his ass was a part of a lawsuit against the NFL over concussions, okay? And WWE has former superstars suing them for the same reason Baron Corbin is suing the NFL. Now, that is some shit. And I'm really interested to see how this is going to fold out, because he's never disclosed that with anybody. He's never put it out there with WWE. They had no idea until he got into this heated argument with a WWE physician. So this is just a mess. I just love spilling that juicy tea on this show, bitch. But let that sit. Let that simmer. We're gonna see what that's gonna come about. But Baron, man, you are off to a bad start. Your career just started, man. I don't know what's gonna come of this. I like Baron, but that cocky arrogance and something as serious as like a concussion lawsuit, and your employer doesn't even know. I blame WWE too. Like, what the fuck are you guys doing? Where's the clearance? Why didn't you guys do a background check? Find out what this kid is like really about before signing him. You know, like, you'd think a big company like that would do that, but apparently they didn't. But we shall see. Well, guys, we said a lot. We're running up 2 hours now. And for those of you who've made it to the end, thank you. I hope you guys go ahead and start liking, giving reviews, retweeting, supporting, and keep doing what you're doing so I can be inspired to come on every week and stick with my commitment and talk to you guys, my listening crew, my friends. So I'm gonna sign out. I'm really hungry. I'm tired. I'm sure you guys could hear it in my voice. I'm exhausted. Got a lot of things to do. Got a lot of planning to do tonight. A lot of trips coming up. But you guys don't care about that. The show is not over because I have commitments. And I just remembered that I have questions from you guys. Let's take some questions. I'm not going to do you guys like that. I'm going to stay on. Oh, hold on. I got a text message. Okay. But, no. I just received the package at the door, and while I was recording, I heard a random knock on the door, and I was like, what is that? And now I'm looking at my text messages. Not text messages. I got a notification that I received the package in the mail. So that was probably UPS or FedEx knocking on my door to let me know. But anyways, let's pull up these questions, baby. Let me take a sip of this, girl. My wine. A listener asked me, or was it Josh who asked me, if I really drink on the show? And I was like, no, but maybe I should. So okay, let me find this. Let me get this going. Hurry it up. I'm over here rambling. All right, let's take a look-see. Okay, our first question's from Bella K. Royce. What's up, Bella K. Royce? How you doing? What do you see being the SmackDown Women's Hell in a Cell match? Okay, what do I see? What's going on right now with Natty? Ooh, this is a good question. I don't think Natty's defending her title at Hell in a Cell. I'll say that much. But, do I think they're going to put the women in a Hell in a Cell? I don't think they have an in-depth feud like that where they would have to be in a Hell in a Cell match. So I wouldn't say that they should put Natty in a Hell in a Cell. No, absolutely not. It just wouldn't make sense. But a stipulation would be cool, but I don't think they need to do that either. I don't know. Maybe ask me this again next week. I'll answer it. So you got me there. Oh, you asked another question. So do you think we'll see a women's tag team championship in the next 5 years? I don't want one. But depending if they sign these women from the Mae Young Classic, and it depends how many girls they bring in. And apparently they got a lot of girls right now, but where would we put the division? Like, that would have to be a separate division at itself. It's a tag team division. It's another set of women. But in the next, that's a big commitment for WWE, and that's a lot of money. You got to think about budgets. So I'm gonna say no. Let's see. We got another question from a random guy, Corey. What's up, Corey? He asks, if Trish returned, who would you like to see her face? Personally, I would want Trish versus Charlotte. That's a dream match of mine. That's a dream match of mine as well. I would love to see Trish versus Charlotte because I feel like Charlotte is the queen of this era, and Trish was the queen of her era. But I know that Trish wants to wrestle Natty. That's a dream match of hers, and I know Natty would love to wrestle Trish Stratus, so that's another one I'd like to see if Trish came back. Keyshawn Webley asks, talk about progress, bitch. Laughing out loud. And also, who do you see facing Kairi at the next takeover, one-on-one or multiple person match? Okay, this is progress. I like the show. I watched a couple of the matches that you sent to me, the ones that you recommended, and I'm gonna tell you which ones I watched. Hold on, I took notes as well, but I haven't had the chance to talk about it. Where the fuck are these notes? Hold on, give me a second. What the? I can't find it. Oh, because I don't remember the girls' names. But I watched the match with Toni Storm and Candice LeRae, I thought that match was really good. That was a good match. I think they had 2 matches. I watched one with Dakota Kai and Toni Storm. And you know who I surprisingly liked? That girl Jeannie or Jeannie. She looks Middle Eastern. I love her. I think she's so good. When she first did her entrance, I was like, who in the blue hell is this bitch? But she came out and she was in there working that 6-woman tag, I believe it was. And it was super fun. I like that boy with that girl, the dirty girl, the one that rubs and grinds everywhere, and she's like so trashy, but I like her gimmick. She's just so dirty. She's a very dirty girl. Like, I kill her. And her man is cute. So, talking about it again, I'm reminiscing. I think I should watch some more. So, suggest some more matches to me. I want to see more. Now, for Kairi, with his multi-person match, I talked a little bit about it earlier. The only one I would really like to see in there is Bianca Belair, of course. Because there's nobody already on the roster that I feel like, oh my god, they gotta face Kairi ASAP. Like, it is what it is. I want her and Bianca Belair. And in the multi-women's match, I would like to see Bianca. I would like to see Sonya Deville in there. Nikki Cross, Ruby. So, those are some of the girls I like to see. All right, Keyshawn, you asked another question. Thoughts on the Mae Young Classic 6-woman tag? I talked about it earlier. I thought it was dope. Okay. King JJ130 asks, who are the 10 greatest female champions in WWE history in your opinion? Ooh, I can't think of 10 on the top of my head, but I'll just start throwing some out that were memorable to me. Sable, I thought Sable was a good champion, great champion actually. She was super fun to watch. I enjoyed it. Another one I loved was Trish. I thought Trish was a great champion, very believable. It was fun to watch her. Another one, Molly Holly was always a good champion to me. So much fun to watch her as well. Michelle McCool, great champion. Probably my favorite, Melina. I loved Melina as champ. She was just so great. Great champion. And Beth Phoenix, amazing. She was fun to watch as champ. Eve Torres, great champion. I don't know how many girls I've named, but I'm sure I'm missing some more. But yep, those are some I could name for you. Let's see. Where do you see the division going in the next sorry, I didn't say his name first. King JJ130 asks again, who do you see where do you see the division going in the next 3 years, growth-wise? Their own show, a tag team, mid-card, blah, 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 blah. Who are you asking this about? Oh, the women's division? No, I don't see... That depends where WWE's heading. Like, if they're gonna... He asked the same question, like, do I see WWE expanding the women's division? It's all about money. It's all about budgets. I don't know. I don't think we're ready for a women's tag team match because tag team division. Because if we get a tag team division for the women, if we get a mid card title for the women should get their own show. That's it. It should be just the women. Maybe it could just go on the network. But then people would be like, it's not fair that we only see the women on the network and we don't see them on television, on national television. So do we want to shoot ourselves in the foot for asking for too much? Or do you think that the women should be, there should be a split of the women? Like we have, like the cruiserweights only do the cruiserweight show and then they trickle in on Monday Night Raw or something like that? Is that what you guys would like? It's just a lot to think of. And I feel like right now we're at a good point and I guess we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Okay, you ask another question, JJ. Which match do you think would be a big money match? Trish versus Nikki Bella or Trish versus Charlotte Flair? Oh, I gotta think about this. I would. Oh, this is tough. Ooh, this is tough. The bigger money maker. Trish versus Nikki Bella or Trish versus Charlotte. I'm gonna have to say Trish versus Nikki Bella. Because I just called Charlotte the queen of the division. But when you say queen of wrestling, of WWE, I should say, Nikki Bella's pretty big. That's tough. I don't know. For some reason, I'm leaning towards Trish and Nikki Bella. As much as I love Charlotte, I feel like Nikki Bella would get that mainstream more than in the wrestling world, everybody would be more happy to see Trish versus Charlotte, of course, because, they were both masters in the ring at their time and really good. But Nikki Bella was just as good. She was huge. She's the longest reigning champion, and Trish is the most winning champion. Like, she has the most reigns. So I gotta go with that. I have to give it to Nikki Bella. It is what it is. Okay. Sam GK4 asks, how do you feel about an LGBT storyline? Do you feel WWE would do it right? Well, the WWE audience is just so fucking stupid. And I don't think they could handle an LGBT storyline because they're so ignorant and stupid. I don't think they'll be able to handle a storyline like that right now, because you see the nasty comments that they post out, the way they attack other people's superstars and the way they attack each other. It's just crazy. They have no self-respect for themselves, and they don't have no respect for others and their feelings, and they feel like they should write the show, and that they just feel entitled. And I don't think that would do well. Okay. If you were a WWE... Oh, this question's from Sunday Candy 94. If you were a WWE superstar, what would be your ring name? Which brand would you want to be a part of? And who would you feud with? I never gave this much thought because I'd never want to be a wrestler personally. I would rather work behind the scenes. I would love to be an agent. A personality. I just couldn't be a wrestler. But if I was to be a wrestler, Jimmy Vibes, of course. Like, duh. I think Jimmy Vibes is a good ring name, to be honest with you. I would like to be a part of SmackDown, of course. And who would I like to feud with? I would love to feud with the New Day. I think it would be so much fun. I would be real shady with their asses, too. Don't come for me, New Day. I got you. Baby. Next question. Allie. The one Allie asks, assuming this episode is done before Takeover spoilers, who would you want Kairi Sane to fight for the NXT Women's title? Oh, I just answered that one for you, Allie, but thank God you asked a second question. Do you have any fantasy booking for Asuka when she arrives on Monday Night Raw? Absolutely. I would love to see Asuka versus Nia. That's what I want to see. Nia as champion. I really want WWE to build up Nia and put that damn belt on her. The belt needs to go on Nia. It's game over. It is what it is. Nia needs to be champion. I need her to reign for a little bit. Have Asuka debut. Run through those girls. Make her way up to the queen, Nia. And let's see what's really good. That's what I want to see. I want to see Nia versus Asuka. Big hype, good match build. Like, I want it all for it. Oh, Ali, you ask another question. Do you think there's a place for trans people in wrestling? And if so, how would you incorporate them into the company like WWE? Oh my God, the gay stuff. Oh, this is tough. My thing is, I don't want them to just hire a trans person just to say that they hired a trans person. I want this trans person to be a wrestling fan. I want this trans person to know how to wrestle. I want this trans person to love wrestling, and for it to be this trans person's dream and be just as amazing as everybody else. I wouldn't want WWE just to do it, just to say, hey guys, we're doing it. It's going to be great publicity. Absolutely not. But then again, the wrestling fans ain't ready for that shit. Okay? But yeah, we've said a lot, guys. That's it for the questions. I thank you guys for sending in questions. I appreciate it. And now, girl, I am tired, but I gotta do these things. I gotta get my life together and plan. I feel like you always need a plan. Set goals and get your shit done. Because other than that, it all pile up, baby. But, I hope you guys are chilling. I hope you guys are doing well. Are the shows too long? Let me know. If they're too long and we gotta scale back like this 2-hour shit, I thought I'd give you guys like long episodes for a little bit just to test it out. But you guys haven't given me any feedback yet. You guys haven't even fucking noticed. But hey, it is what it is. Just let me know and we'll adjust. This is our show. So thank you guys. And please don't forget to go do what you gotta do. And you know what I'm talking about. All right, be good. Bye, guys.